Hey, we're live, I think. Hopefully everything's working. I had some pretty crazy audio problems there for a moment where my mic was doing crazy stuff, and one of the pieces of software we use updated right in the middle of us starting the stream, we think. So that kind of messed things up. But yeah, let's see if all of you guys sound okay, because we kind of do need to do a real quick audio test since that. So hopefully we'll sort that out as we go through. Hey, Rad, what's up, bud?
Rad, what's happening, man?
21st birthday.
I'm feeling good for 21.
Are you? Damn, I wish I felt.
Am I feeling good or am I 21?
Are you feeling good for 21?
Oh. No, probably not.
I was gonna say, I don't know, buddy.
Probably not. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure 21-year-old me felt a lot better than 38-year-old me.
I was a little springier, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot less creak in the old joints as I moved around. That's for sure. Not that I'm like old, but like I'm definitely older than 21. Anyway, on that note, well, Matt, I'm Cynical. This is my channel. Welcome to it. All around us here, this is Chronicle, which is a custom Traveller 2nd edition campaign set in our version of the OTU, or Original Traveller universe. Also sometimes just referred to as a Third Imperium, which is a political entity within that universe. We're all kind of new to Traveller, but not so much anymore, as we're getting close to wrapping up our first big campaign in it. And we've loved it so far. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be coming back to it a whole bunch over the coming years as we play games and stuff. So that's going to be super cool. We are using a few optional rules, and if you see something you don't recognize, that might be it, or it might just be that we're confused, because as I said, this is our first campaign, so we're not old timers with it or anything yet. There's tons. The system's also it's so modular. It got so many different pieces. There's entire pieces of it that we've never touched, right? We've never had a mech fight in Traveller, or like our vehicle fight even, really. We just had the one vehicle fight, right? So that's not what I'm saying is happening. But like, we've never done a lot of these things in Traveller that you might have in a specific type of Traveller campaign. There's certain things that come up when you're on when you're operating a ship that has like a crew of 1,000 people that don't come up on a ship like your size. So different campaigns will have different pieces of that system that come up. So I'm excited in the future to explore some of that. But of course, we're going in a different direction for a while afterwards, to keep the whole like sine wave thing going on. But as usual, because it's a tabletop role-playing stream, we'll mostly just be paying attention to the game. And so if we don't see you in chat right away, just know that we really appreciate you guys being here and coming along for the journey. It is a pleasure to share this with everybody, and it's been super cool the whole time. I've really enjoyed that. So everybody's welcome down there. Just keep it civil. So let's move on to the important people over here. These are my friends, and together we're carrying on this like really old tradition of us playing games together, and we call it CoFH RPG, CoFH RPG, which is cryptic and confusing, and I'm not going to explain it. So let's take a moment to introduce our players and their individual little characters. We don't need to go all the way back this time, but I feel like as we're getting towards the end of this campaign, it's kind of a good idea for you guys to start addressing like the mental state of your characters, and like we've seen some of your characters going through some characterization recently and things, so it's good to address some of that and kind of where you think they're heading recently, but you don't need to get super exposition-y about it, any of that or whatever. It's totally fine. So let's move on into it. Just when you thought it was safe to roll the dice, steps in my longtime pal and proficiently prolesmatic player, Lord Venom 1. Go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, and where's Dixon at right now?
Hey, I'm Lord Venom 1. Don't do any other streaming, but I'm on here every week. I have fun playing Traveller. Yeah, Dixon Matthews is a young boy on Tarkeen. Swore to his grandpa he would uphold the law above all else. Had his first career as a detective and is now a traveler, where he has apparently taken to common thievery and dealing with career criminals. Yeah, we just in the last session did a black market deal with some stolen recipe chips from the Astro Burgers. Dixon's pragmatic enough, I think, to not have that be a world-shattering event. I guess we'll see in the aftermath how it all plays out, and maybe if there's any repercussions of that might change. But he's certainly put aside his any loyalty he had to the law itself. He's not too troubled by it. So he obviously brings those skills to the table, but in terms of his old detective skills, but in terms of being so bothered by stealing from a corporation, I don't think we're too worried about that for Dixon. So he's certainly good. As he's mentioned before, he's a little nervous about what's to come on Tick Tick, since we are getting back to the more magical side of things as we investigate these strange artifacts.
Dealing with the ancient stuff.
We'll see how that goes.
Way outside of Detective Dixon's wheelhouse of typical skill set and stuff.
Yeah,
which is pretty interesting. So that's pretty cool. It's cool to see like that kind of that journey wrap up here, and I think it'll be really good to note down kind of whether that means literally on paper or whatever method we end up kind of recording, other than this stream and the VODs of it, recording kind of the end mental states of these characters, because when and if we do come back to Chronicle in the future as a campaign, it's like a sequel series, a sequel campaign, if we ever do come back to this ship and these characters in the future, whatever, I'm probably not going to do it like, well, this is right after last time. It's going to be like 2 years later or something, and it'll be cool to take these current snapshots that you have of these characters and push them forward when we do that. So that's something I'm looking forward to whenever the hell that happens. That could be 2-3 years away. Who the hell knows? With the way games get scheduled and stuff. But you never know. But that's something I'm excited to see, and it's one of the reasons that I kind of like having these check-ins at the beginning of every session, because it puts you back in that frame for your character, but it means that like we kind of have a consistent through line that we can follow, so that at the end we can go back to that and go, oh yeah, here's where Dixon was. What does it mean for Dixon 2 years later, right? Is Dixon like a hardened criminal 2 years later or something, or
presumably we were in prison between now and then, so
maybe we'll see what happens. But moving on from that, it's my good friend and a fellow streamer on Screen Room, and a streamer, of course, in his own right, as I said, MadCow234 down here. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, and then where's Ryder at right now? Mentally, obviously.
We stream on Screen Room, here on Twitch, of course, on Sundays and Wednesdays. Come hang out with us there. It's a lot of fun. Watch Star Trek on Sundays and movies on Wednesdays, so come hang out. I also stream on my channel, so come hang out there as well. As far as Ryder is concerned, so Ryder, former Army, former Navy, and I always say this, but he kind of looks forward and kind of tends to forget, don't hold on to anything in the past, so kind of just doesn't think about it, kind of goes head first into a lot of things, but he also kind of likes to stand in the back a little bit and listen to the crew before he makes any kind of decision. So I think that because of that, where he is right now is we're kind of leaving this war zone, right? So it's about to be just another thing in his past. A lot of stuff has happened in his past, so right? So just another thing in his past, and ready to go on, find out about artifacts. That's what's interesting.
I mean,
about
the whole Dust
Ryder.
Belt is kind of alight as a war zone, so you're not really about to leave it necessarily.
Well, yeah, but the main kind of
the biggest direct conflict that was happening was on Tier, which you left a while ago now. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, he's just kind of, you know, looking forward to the next journey
Right.
that's after Tick Tick, which is kind of what he always does, right? What's after what we're doing now, which puts them, you know, sometimes like out of it, right? Kind of out of the situation. Kind of looking at what's going to happen next. So that's kind of where his mind is.
And you commented last time on like Ryder's not the smartest guy or whatever, so like
right.
he doesn't necessarily dwell on things like think through what has happened or whatever in the past. Like doesn't meditate on a lot of things. Right.
That's what's kind of fun to play, right? Because that's very opposite of me personally. So it's kind of interesting to play this guy that releases things immediately and kind of moves on to the next thing.
Like super impulsive. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, moving on from there, Nakama from Another Mama, it's Society Streams, also a fellow member of Screen Room and an independent streamer. Why don't you go ahead and talk about yourself and what's up with Roman?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Society. It is my birthday. So during this campaign, I will have gotten to play for Roman's birthday and my birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way, Society.
Thank you. So yeah, you can say it unless you did. I said it. Yeah. This one's benchmarked. Birthday stream. Roman's had a pretty solid arc. It wasn't, I think I talked a little bit about this at the end last time, but I was hoping for something a little bit darker for him. Yeah, and so I kind of planned for the worst. And so I didn't really like think too much about it going well for him, honestly. You know, my head about Traveller was that, you know, you're gonna get fucking hurt. So I kind of expected to deal with. Yeah, Roman was a really good
I think people would have definitely died in this campaign at certain points had Roman not been one of the characters. Had you not had an extremely skilled medic, I don't think that. And also technically, by the time some of those things happened, you had the Vagabond, which had a med bay to allow for the long-term care.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know if you hadn't had that. I don't know if people would have survived too. Right?
Like, especially 2 instances in particular I can think of involving Ryder and Dixon. You know, it's like even Sterulia now that I think about it. Getting shot.
Yeah, if that stuff had gone down on the first ship that you were on in the game, that little scout ship, I think it would have been a pretty different. I think you would have lost at least 2 crew members.
Yeah, so I guess
which is half the crew.
Right, I like planned for the worst, but because of that, made a guy that was just like too well equipped to handle the worst. So it worked out so far for us. But it's been fun. It's been really cool seeing what he's gone through. I mentioned it came out last time that he's given up drinking pretty much cold turkey with some negative side effects due to that. But you know, I think that he's accepted a lot as a traveler, and you know, this found family, this new family that he's accepted, that has embraced him, that he's saved now, literally every single one of them now he's saved. So there's definitely a sense of family there, and I think whatever happens now, he's been through the situation before. He's been through it enough times now to know that it always can go to shit, but you know, it's what you make of the time that isn't shit that matters. So he's kind of embracing that full-heartedly now, I think, and has had a really cool arc, I feel like, as a character.
Interesting. So by this point, Roman has probably been with this crew maybe even longer than he has any other one crew during his like time as a traveler too. So he's probably like closer to them than he has been with others, which is interesting too. I mean, you did a lot of traveling before, because you're kind of like a traveling doctor, but you didn't stick with like one group of people until a period of time that happened. We've explored that in your backstory already, but
Right,
even, after
absolutely.
that, kind of things went apart. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big thing too, being able to have like pull on a ship too. Like he was never in like, the
Yeah, you're the
he was never
command
on the
staff
bridge.
basically, right?
Exactly,
Yeah, because you guys jointly own this ship together.
Right. So that was a big change, big thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a big difference being an employee at a store and being the owner of the store, even in like a business today. So, imagine that with a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
been fun though.
It's multiplicative or whatever. All right, well, let's move on from there. Last but not least, lurking in the shadows, ready to strike, we have Psycho Cough, one of my oldest friends and a moderator for this community and pretty much all the screen room related communities and stuff that we do along Twitch here. Why don't you go ahead and talk a bit about yourself and really, where the hell is Sterulia right now? The engineer of this ship.
Hi there,
And
I'm
Stewart.
Psycho. I'm a gamer mostly. I don't really hang out on social media, so But I do video games and tabletop RPGs, mostly Pathfinder, which I GM. I would like to stream, but man, my PC is not there, so maybe one day. But yeah, thanks to Roman's medical skills, his first aid, that really helped Sterulia after getting shot in the head, because she lost 2 stats. Her two stats went to 0. So if it wasn't for Roman, she'd have been in mid bay for a long time recovering.
Yeah, you went down hard. The guy was up above you
Yeah.
and you went through the door and he shot down on top of you that time. Yeah, that was rough for you.
So
Would've been
she's
bad.
really grateful for the first aid.
You went down, you
Oh.
got dragged out of the doorway, immediately working on it. Like, yeah,
It was a tense moment for sure.
yeah.
But
Again,
she is
no Roman,
eager.
definitely a character death there.
Yeah, avoided that. Thankfully.
And your party was split too when that happened,
Yep.
so you could have literally just not been there and been
Yeah,
with the
that'd
other
have been
person,
scary.
Yep.
and you would have just died. You would have 100%. He would have shot you
I
twice.
considered
I wasn't
following
gonna not
Dixon
shoot
into
you
the
again.
wall.
So,
I considered following Dixon into that wall.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know how much of a help I'm going to be in that wall, though.
But
would've definitely
Sterulia
been a,
is very
player death.
eager
Play character death.
to get away from the Glorious Empire,
Ah.
because they are not very advantageous for our financial situation.
Hmm.
So the more distance we can get from them, the better.
They're also kind of like literally more like abrasive, socially speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all about like
to you even
glory
than
and
like a
battle
human
and-
too, right? Well, sure, but like you and Aslan like you that like work closely with humans and like, or what they see as lesser species and stuff. They see as like worse than the humans
yeah,
to them.
we're sort of viewed as like
betrayers.
traitors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like
So I definitely want to get
Sully
away
the
from this
gene
area.
pool kind of thing, right? Like,
Right.
so they don't like you at all. Which is why when you met that other Aslan, the guy that was making the noodles and stuff, and he wasn't one of them, and he's like, "Oh, you have an Aslan on board that isn't one of these dicks. Sweet," you know,
Yeah, he
'Cause he
gave us
fucking
like free
hates 'em.
food. It was great.
right? Yeah, because he really hates the Glorious Empire, which I think you obviously saw from that. He like was spitting at him and stuff. Anyway, so that's all of the player characters. They're the people that matter here, the player characters and the players. So let's go ahead and get into the intro, and then when we come back, we'll jump into the session. If it works, because we've been having a lot of technical difficulties. So here we go.
The Descendants of Humanity. Trillions of lives scattered among the stars. Tens of thousands of years ago, humans were transplanted to those stars by an elder species, long since extinct, whose ruins now dot thousands of worlds. In the Terran year of 2088 AD, jump drive was first discovered by scientists in the Sol System. Humans from Earth traveled to the stars and found them crowded with life, both strange and familiar. Discovering their ancient brethren transplanted among the sea of stars. 3,526 years later, we stand at the height of the Third Imperium, in what we now call 1105 IC on the Imperial calendar. A feudalistic union claiming thousands of worlds, governed by their local nobility and operating largely free from oversight, restricted by convention and feudal obligation alone. Power and wealth are controlled by feudal lords and mega-corporations, titans plotting for control and funding secret wars. Slipping through the cracks, we find the free traders, travelers, and vagabonds, taking what work they can find in order to stay free and keep flying. We follow one such group, trying to get by on the fringes of known space, where life is cheap. A ship will bring you opportunities, and a weapon will help you hold on to them. This is their Chronicle.
All right. We're in. I think it's working. Sometimes it's very confusing. So I don't want to get into too much detail about what's happened recently, because last session we went through, because it had been a while since we played, we went through quite a bit of like previous session stuff, right? Went back like 2 weeks worth. I don't think we need to do that this time, but just to give you kind of a bit of a setup, after some trouble in the tier system and eventually getting out of there in a pretty profitable situation for the travelers, they arrived in the ASIS system. Some uneventful travel in the ASIS system, kind of showing the true difference, the gap between those two situations for the tier system you had just left and the ASIS system you had just entered. Was on display before you here as kind of, it was almost like business as usual, except for the huge amount of Glorious Empire ships in the system that were almost postured for a sort of tactical takeover, as Ryder discerned through his sort of knowledge of naval tactics and positioning and his experience in the Navy. But after kind of being nervous about that for a bit, but also relieved at the absolute difference in situation here versus what you had just left, constantly being shot at almost, you sort of took a bit of respite compared to the previous system anyway. From the recent events, let's just say, a bit of respite from that. You did some shopping as well as some illicit deals, we'll say. There was a bit of working the streets from Dixon to see if he could find buyers for these chips that you guys had acquired. I won't call it like a direct like caper like thief type thing, but they were stolen from Astro Burgers, but you kind of managed to get a man on the inside by doing the right thing on the upward station, allowing you turn the blind eye basically to allowing you to escape with these valuables, these recipe chips from Astro Burgers, as well as you got one of the auto chefs and set up yourself a nice little kind of a mini Astro Burger setup in your own galley, and began serving burgers to crew and passengers alike. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. I don't know how long it'll take before you get really, really sick of it. I think Roman will probably be fine because it's pretty much how he grew up. I'm sure everybody else will eventually be like, okay, when are we eating chicken or whatever eventually. But fascinatingly, I'm sure that the quality of food you've had for the last few weeks just because it's basically just been like frozen food almost. This probably is nicer because you didn't have an auto chef before at all. So now you literally have like basically a thing that cooks for you, which you didn't have before, right? And so I think just that alone, it's not just the fact that you have all these Astro Burger recipes, it's the fact that you could like program your own recipes into an auto chef too, and it can make spaghetti for you or whatever. So just having an auto chef, I think, is probably going to be a huge source of morale. In fact, it doesn't matter that much now because we're towards the tail end of the campaign, but one of the things that I track on the shipboard morale for everybody is affected directly by that. So that does give you a +1 to your shipboard morale for passengers and crew, which matters a little bit now, but not that much. Everybody's morale is pretty high right now because you've left that one system and you're on currently like leave for a week here on this system, on ASUS, so it's not that bad. But it's important to note. Moving on, there was that illicit deal that I spoke of that was made by Dixon's streetwising himself around the city down there, which was conducted pretty high altitude, about 15,000 feet or so, 7,000 meters or something like that, roughly above the Star Town, using your sealed air raft and their like grav tractor, basically, lowering the ramp down and literally hopping between them, a few inches separating them. No handrails. It was pretty scary, but nobody was betrayed in the end. The deals were made, and you made yourself how much money, Sterulia? I believe it was... While he's looking at that. After the deal was...
You're muted.
We have 8 million Florian credits.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 8 million Florian credits.
Right. After
I had to look.
After the deal was conducted, you separated ways, kind of agreed not to ever try to call that number again and all this stuff, to not make contact unless you did it again through the noodle shop that you actually did which was called the Chronicle, that you did the original dealing from, which also, side note, originally you kind of thought that the Chronicle might be a contact, like an individual, like a person, and then when you got there it was just the name of this weird noodle shop, and you had to kind of work your way through the social dynamics of that before you managed to get yourself in the good graces of Defense, who did not give you his real name and wouldn't after being asked, but he was honest about how dishonest he was. And that is essentially where we left off, as the camera peeled away from the sealed air raft as it zoomed off. I guess you never really decided where you were going, so we might as well jump straight into that air raft, which I don't know. I guess I'll just use the ship M drive sound maybe for that.
Roman was showing the screen to everybody.
Yeah, so
the last credits on it.
The last thing that happened was Roman turned the little screen around showing, hey, we just made 8 million Florian credits, which is the equivalent of roughly 10 million Imperial credits. So let's jump in character at that exact moment. What do you do?
Well, I think we can fucking retire now. What do you guys think?
I think it'll make a good payment on our
Yeah,
ship.
I don't know about retire, but we could at least send the bank a couple payments.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually a good idea. I need to do that as well.
Can we do
Maybe
that
not.
from here?
I believe. I hope so. I have an old debt I need to pay.
I think we can. I think we can drop it in there, and they should get it.
So,
Might even have a branch of the bank on this planet.
that would be convenient. So what do you think we do with these funds? I guess obviously it's mostly ship funds, because we owe a lot for the ship. But I don't know. I'm good with having like a ship pile. Put it like
Pile.
under a mattress or something. But I don't know, how much did you want to take away from it to pay for the... It's not gonna pay for the whole ship, I guess. And I assume we want money too. So.
Maybe a tenth of it.
As far as I'm concerned, this is all our money.
We have a bit more, but yes.
Well, alright. We're well on our way. I guess we can get like some upgrades too for the ship. Make money easier.
Well, upgrades are difficult.
I'd love to, but I'd also like to get the hell out of here.
Well, it's actually a good
wait
idea.
around too long.
Yeah, it's probably a wise decision.
Psycho, it's funny because like you were really loud earlier, but now you're really quiet when you're doing Sterulia's voice.
Want me to turn it back up?
I don't know, maybe just get a little bit closer to the mic when you're doing Sterulia's voice or something. It might be easier to go back and forth that way.
Who's driving? Is it Ryder?
I believe Dixon said he was last time. Yeah.
Speaking of,
Are you having problems, Venom? Because I see you keep getting disconnected and stuff in fantasy rounds, by the way.
oh, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, hopefully everything's
Oh.
good.
Oh,
I cleared it just now.
Catch is
but-
cleared.
oh, you cleared it. Okay, the good. I was like, oh no, the system is down. All right. Speaking of getting the hell out of here, what's the safest way back across? Given that we got these your new little friends here, and I point to the case of grenades.
Oh shit. Oh man. You think they'll care?
Couldn't have any problems if we just go straight back to the ship.
We'll explain that we confiscated them and we're taking them away from their planet. They can't be mad about that.
God. Normally I'd strut right through there, but I gotta say my heart rate's still a little high from all that business back there. So why don't we do maybe be extra safe this time.
What do you recommend?
I don't want to jump in here, meta or anything, but last session you guys talked about possibly having Solomon leave with the ship and you
Yeah,
docking or
I know
something.
it just feels so
You also,
heavy of a
yeah.
solution.
You also, what was it? Oh yeah, last session you also talked about, like, I think Dixon, you made a roll maybe even or something. But you know it would be like pretty illegal to try and take the grenades back through either way. Like they may not arrest you, but they will take the grenade and probably confiscate the grenades.
Right. And I don't want to, since we have a 1 million credit chip on us, I don't really want to risk that, right?
Yeah, you never know. They might just frisk you and take all that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think we got some kind of rapport where we could kind of wave us through, but well, I'd hate to have them take off just for that, but maybe that's the best thing. What do you think, Cap?
We still have passengers on board. They were going to get.
Yeah,
off
we'd have to
here,
bring her
right?
back around and park again, I guess. I don't know. Tell them
Yeah.
we forgot something. You say the word, I'll take her right on through here, and I'll give them the old service nod, and hopefully they let us on, wave us on through.
That old service nod.
We could also,
You are parked at the low port, so technically ships do fly from the low port to the high port sometimes. So you could do something like that, maybe. That would be like an in-world knowledge thing you would know.
yeah. I mean, we can also just bring her in hot, right to our ship. You know?
The hangar's closed. You have to like get the hangar open, but if you remember, you flew down into the hangar. The
someone
door's
just
closed
opened-
above you.
Open the hangar
Yeah,
door.
we can just open the doors and just go
I mean, you
that
could,
way.
yeah. I mean, it's
Fly
basically
in.
like Star Citizen. You can just be like, "Hey, this is Hangar 14."
Yeah.
But they're gonna be like, "Oh, are you leaving?" You know, and if then the grav car flies in, they're like, "Oh, you know, declare it customs," which is what happened. Remember when you took the grav car out, even like you had to go through and then like declare the grav car and then go out. So that all happened last session. Anyway, back in character. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels a little weird, but I guess.
I mean,
people
here
go
we could
from low port to high port all the time.
we could just let somebody out with them and send them out on foot. You know, just talk your way through. If you want to risk the grenades getting, you know, impounded. That way it doesn't put the rest of us at risk, you know.
It's true. I'd rather not put anyone at risk, but I'd also like to keep the grenades that we kind of worked to get.
Yeah.
We could try to stash them somewhere.
If we fly onto the ship and then quickly put the grenades in like the smuggler's compartment and then be like, "Oh wait, we forgot to do the customs thing. Our fault."
Well, so that's
We'd have to ask them to. We'd have to ask them to. Yeah, definitely. We'd have to ask them to retract the roof, and then they would be like, "Well, what for?"
Right.
But we could BS them and be like, "We just want to get a look at the stars."
The stars.
Right.
We don't
Then
see the stars
You're definitely
that often
breaking
in our
some walls then if
spaceship.
that
I'm
happens,
trying to
but
bang-
you can
I'm trying
totally
to-
do it.
You know, I'm trying to beam a signal. I got a laser transmitter. I'm trying to beam something to my partner up on Highport.
Could we like?
That's
What
hilarious.
if we like
It's all a bit of
left?
smooth talking, man.
Could we like leave the box of grenades like floating in space, and then just swoop them up on our way out?
I mean, we don't have any
Base
back
is a pretty
suits
small
on,
place, right?
So we fly up there and
I mean, we
And
could
open the
park
car.
the car. Like we could just leave the car in port, like in somewhere.
In the high port. Leave it in the high port.
We could. Smuggling these grenades into the high port is not better.
But like,
It's actually harder.
they didn't search our ship though.
No, they're not. It's not like illegal.
Anytime
You
you
just
go
can't
through.
bring them. Can't just bring them in, or you know, you can't bring them through
Right,
the
so
checkpoint.
we can park our car at the starport or the high port, and then just wait for our other ship to get there.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We could do. We could have our ship take. Let's just do it. Let's just do that.
I like that.
yeah, call Solomon.
Send Solomon to Highport. We can meet him en route and like park. Right? Can we park in? Like we can dock with our ship while it's traversing to the Highport, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
And that's all basically legal.
It's like grayish area, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's possible they take notice and ask
There's
questions.
a war going on. They're gonna see us.
Well, but that's
Unless
might
that
be
means
a
why
re-
they would see us.
That might be a reason for. But again, we're just talking about some grenades. I mean, again, they're not like highly legal grenades. Like, we could have
trying to
grenades
get
like
them.
this.
Trying to get them out of here, not in here.
I mean,
I mean,
or you
that's
just roll them and
definitely
ask
true.
them. Say,
I could label it biohazard.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
we could- there's all
it's
sorts
like
of
trying to
that.
leave. It's like trying to leave the you know, like the Mexican border, United States Mexican border, but you have like a bunch of cocaine on you or something,
Yeah.
and you're trying to go to Mexico. You're like, no, but I'm leaving with it.
I'm
But
leaving with it.
Sorry, buddy.
I found it. I just
No,
want to get
because
out.
is space
you don't have to-
America? No.
It's dangerous.
There's like a gap in between. Like space is that gap. It's like international waters. It's like I'm trying to get cocaine
not
into
though.
international waters.
I don't think that is over.
Like, I'm trying to get it out of here
But I'm down with
into
it.
international waters, so it's not your problem anymore. I'm helping.
Yeah. We confiscated.
All right, let me ask you
Yes.
this. Let me ask you
We're
this.
taking it
He's
He's
away.
got these. He's got this case down at his feet. Our vehicle goes through a checkpoint. Are they scanning the vehicle? like with some sort of, because these people are tech level cavemen. Are they like scanning the vehicle? Are they just like randomly searching?
So, what you have encountered so far are basically there are some random searches and stuff. I mean, because there's war stuff happening, so they're not just checking to see like, hey, do these guys have like weapons they shouldn't have and stuff. They're also looking for like, are they smuggling intelligence and stuff like that, or
we're idiots,
or like all kinds of stuff.
I don't have any of that. That's for sure.
But yeah,
just have them talk to me.
so there
But it's
there
been
is
a few days.
there is a bit of a heightened alert. The war is still happening.
Sure.
You know. There are scanners and stuff, but you don't like pass your. There's no some like TL-17 scanner that scans the whole car. And it's like, oh, we've got grenades detected. You know, there's something like
So
that.
what do we think? What's
We're
our
good.
gut say about just rolling through?
I mean, you as a cop know that people do that. It's just like it's a smuggling thing. You would have to talk your way past it, or like hide them somewhere, maybe bribe somebody, or do do the things you see smugglers do in the movies.
If only we had a whole lot of credits.
Yeah, if only.
That's
Bribe
no. That's a
someone.
no. You pull out your wallet. It's got $10 million in it. That's not a good. That's not how you get to a checkpoint.
There's definitely a lot of
Also
ways
have
you could get it through the checkpoint. If
illegal
you wanted to, if you were trying to do the thing that you said earlier, where you like dock mid transit or whatever, you can also do that. It's just that'll be just like a piloting roll probably, and a driving roll to kind of like
Fuck it.
be
Let's do it.
clandestine.
Let's do it.
I mean, it's a good way to end the campaign. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So you call Solomon?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. 555-4312.
Yeah, Captain, what's going on? Everything work out all right?
Everything turned out great.
That's good to hear.
Yep, we
I was ready to put
You
some
got a
punching
little-
in on him if I had to, you know, but glad it didn't
well,
happen.
we got something that's gonna give a punch. We need
Oh?
to get it back.
Is
yeah,
it another one of them
here.
burger machine related endeavors?
I think you'll see soon enough. We just need to meet up. So why don't you head up towards the high port and we'll meet up en route, and we'll pull in and we'll show you.
You want to dock in orbit then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, I can get in the orbit here. Let me start getting clearance. It should take probably about 30 minutes or so to get in orbit,
All right. Sounds
depending on
good.
clearance.
We'll head out there and I'll ping you our location.
All right, will do. Talk to you then.
It cuts out.
I wish he wouldn't talk about the Astelburgers over the.
He didn't say Asherburgers. He just said burger machine.
Yeah. It's the
In a completely
Bland
different star
burger
system, by the way.
Roman's being nervous.
Yeah.
everyone knows what Astroburger is. So.
Yeah, they do though. But he didn't say that. He's being careful, but not too
I just
careful.
know how this I had a vision of how this campaign ends, and it's with a fucking Astelburger's corporate militia gunning us down in cold blood.
You never know. You never know. All right. So,
Waiting for us on Tick Tick.
what do you guys do? You ended the call. What are you doing?
So yeah, end of the call. So Dixon had us out into orbit near the high port, and we'll dock up.
Did we
There.
refuel?
I don't think so. Like I said, we still have
don't
business here, so I think we're gonna have to
So
dilly dally up there for a few hours and then come back down.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just go shopping.
Sterulia still has fixing to do on the ship at this point too, because it's only halfway through the week.
So we can refuel up there and then come down for
Oh, that's a good call.
Sure.
We like the fuel up
plan.
there better. That's our excuse for leaving.
Well, we say like they cut us a discount up there for some reason. If
Yeah.
they ask, don't offer it.
Yeah, they
We prefer high port fuel.
It's fuel in low gravity is like better on the engine for some reason. Less dense.
You always pay less because it weighs less up there.
That's not how it works.
That's what Ryder always tells everybody. Like, yeah, it's a high port because it weighs less, and therefore you don't have to pay as
Remember,
much.
Ryder's not the smartest guy. Naval tactics he gets, but fractions and stuff, oh man.
This sounds like it makes sense.
Yep.
Like I
I'll
said,
sell
we're
it.
meeting up with Solomon.
Yes. We're gonna
Wait, we
ping
have
him
to
our
dock?
location.
Are we gonna dock with him while he's? Oh.
Yep.
Hang on, boys, and I'll
I start
pull
massaging
up on this,
Ryder's
pull up on this
shoulders.
thing.
I'm like, we got this, man.
Ryder's not doing anything. He's just sitting in the passenger
Oh,
seat.
okay.
He's not even.
Never mind.
No,
I
but
wouldn't be able to do this
thanks. I was
without you
feeling
captaining
tense.
it, sir. Appreciate it.
I start doing that, Dixon. We got this, Dixon. It's gonna be difficult. The most difficult maneuver of your flying career. But you got this. I believe in you.
It's not that
Right, so
hard,
I take
honestly.
off,
It's just,
like,
it's
yeah,
just
just
docking
take off
in
to get
orbit.
some-
If you're
get
trying to
some
hide
altitude.
the fact that you're doing it, that's a little bit harder. But it's not like a delicate
Maybe
docking
we should
maneuver.
be.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that you can definitely try.
I don't know. If we try to hide it and get seen, it's gonna look really bad.
You try to hide it and crash into the ship. That's
That's
really
gonna
bad.
feel bad. So.
Then the grenades are gonna rain down on the city.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have like fucking.
Right, so
There's
you head,
aerosol grenades.
you head
We're
into
good.
orbit. It takes a little while to raise up there. I mean, the anti-gravity tech is good, but it's not like incredibly, efficient at getting out of atmosphere. But it's just so consistent that it manages to get out there. That's why it's not like, yeah, you can fly to another planet in one of these things. You can't. You just can't. But you can pretty easily, within a reasonable period of time, less than an hour usually, depending on the planet, get into orbit. With basically no fanfare, no like high G situation, nothing. Just kind of like it's almost like riding a hot air balloon if you want to compare it to something like that. It's just like
Pretty
simple. But you can move pretty quickly laterally, even in atmosphere or out of atmosphere in one of these things. They go about roughly 300 kph, so they're pretty quick. Not like as fast as like the fastest, grav cars and stuff that exist in this world, but yours is pretty quick. But even like yours can fly pretty much what we would compare today to like a fighter jet, right? They're very agile. Compared to a fighter, I mean, they can literally stop, right? A fighter jet can't do that. Like, they can VTOL and come to a stop slowly, but this thing can be like, change direction this way. It's anti-gravity tech. So, the journey into orbit is uneventful and scenic at best. It takes the better part of 20 minutes or so, passing through a myriad of cloud layers, looking over the emerald horizon of the beautiful garden world of Asis below you. Little gems of white and blue sparkle at you. That's the city beneath. It's large and spread out, not tall. There are lanes that are visible even from a high altitude between the buildings here that grav and ground vehicles pass through with the traffic. The city, as you remember it beneath you, is quiet, serene in some ways, beautiful, and also somewhat dangerous feeling, somewhat disturbed by the presence of so many glorious empire Aslan on myriad street corners, harassing citizens, causing a lot of problems in smaller businesses that you saw moving throughout the city, especially you, Dixon, having done a lot of the street work. So looking down below you as you have this kind of quiet moment moving into orbit, you're able to kind of take all that in and think about the situation beneath your feet. But before long, you are in orbit, and Solomon would probably be in orbit about this time too, maybe a little bit after, because he's got to get clearance. So let's say about 40 minutes later. Let's move it an hour later.
It's always so different when you leave that slowly, huh? It's just like
Yeah,
it
something
slips
to
away.
see. Sometimes in that big old ship, it all feels so far away. That's right.
Definitely understand that. And here it's like close enough to touch, but still out of reach.
Yeah, it looks like it's just floating there. Like you could reach out and touch it.
Don't do that. We'll die.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Is there like
Maybe if I just
No
pop the
vaccines.
hatch. Here, 1 second.
End of campaign.
was there a point when there would be like frost on the windows? And then like it would go away?
So technically so it's just like modern airplanes, they have anti-frosting to prevent that from happening, basically. So it can happen, but that means that a system's failing if that's happening.
Ugh.
So no, it's not happening, but, but
It
that's
would
good.
have.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. It's basically just a pretty strong heater inside that blows off the glass and stuff, essentially. But
Space heater.
Space debugger.
space heater.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
All right. But yeah,
Will you
it
go
doesn't.
see
It
Solomon
doesn't
yet?
frost up. You have to call him.
Do I see him? Can I roll a recon?
I mean, he would theoretically be in orbit somewhere, but you're not going to be able to eye spot him. You said you were going to call him, so if you want to call him, you can. You can also try and eye spot him if you want, but
Gonna.
but realistically, it's going to be like
Yeah.
almost impossible. All right,
Yeah, look for Roman. See if you see him.
rolling ant
I
recon.
mean, Dixon's got crazy recon. I don't have recon. so
That's
it's
true.
I've played
beyond
enough
skill.
Star Citizen to know that you can't see those things until they're right up on you.
It's pretty true. It's pretty true. I'll make
Here
it
we go.
I'll make it a task difficulty 12.
Oh yeah, I failed.
3.
Look at all those
You rolled a
pretty
3.
lights.
Mine is 9 effect.
Pretty lights.
Oh, Dixon, just barely, just barely. So Dixon, in the distance, you see like a blue flaring
There it
color,
is.
a blue flaring color.
Holy
and
shit! I'm looking over here.
Look in the rearview mirror.
You
There it is.
can't tell that it's Solomon's ship or anything like that. Like it's Solomon on the ship. But what you can tell is that it's definitely a ship. It's got a plume. It looks like it's braking to come towards you, and there's no other ships that you have spotted that look like they're coming towards you. So the most likely candidate would be that ship is probably Solomon getting into position.
All right, well, I'll adjust and sort of head towards them, or kind of head, for whatever natural
Right.
intercept might be.
Okay. You do so. Yeah, are you calling him? Because you said you were gonna ping him up there.
Nah, we'll just show up. We'll just show up at the door.
All right.
It's a good way to get run over.
I know he's flying.
So
Yeah, we're gonna call him.
I think my brother did that to me in Star Citizen once.
bad idea, my son.
Oh.
Just literally ran me over.
Yeah.
Found him.
Sounds about right.
Oh yeah, I've
Man's
done that.
face is
Like
small.
when I'm in a really big ship and you guys are like EVAing around it, and I'm like, "Are you close?" And I like turn the ship. I've like hit you as I've just turned the ship. And like then
I
you're just-
was real close. Now I'm back on planet.
Yeah. I remember one time I hit Mad Cow's little ship with my big ship like that, dunk, and it was like a baseball bat hitting a baseball, and his ship just like tumbling off into space, and we're like, "Shit, you're not gonna be able to catch that, are you?" And he was like in EVA trying to chase it down and stuff.
Oh my god, that's terrible. He wasn't even in
It was
Yeah.
it was bad.
Or great, depending on how you think about it. Anyway,
Oh.
Insurance.
out of that space setting and into this one. So you are largely in position, you think, to start to make the call and to kind of align yourself. So go ahead, and whoever wanted to make the call, do that, and let me get a what is it, flyer grab? Yeah, flyer grab it from Dixon.
Yeah, I'll call.
Okay.
Follow, man. Oh, you landed. it.
Damn, Dixon, Jesus Christ, you're good at this stuff. What's happening with these rolls?
I don't
Hey,
know
Captain.
about this whole campaign, really.
Y'all about ready to dock up here?
Yeah. No, yep. We're ready. There's
I
gonna be
whisper
no
in his ear.
problems.
We already did.
Dixon. Oh wait, we're landed. Oh, never mind, Solomon. We're here.
I will say with a roll that that good in the fact that you were kind of being sneaky and stuff. I was gonna set the task difficulty on being sneaky to get in there to be a difficult roll, which is task difficulty 10 and not 12. But you rolled a 13, so that would be a +3 effect. So Solomon will then.
Oh shit! There y'all are. You're a lot closer than I was saying. I didn't see y'all's plume or nothing. Yeah, I'm ready to dock if y'all are.
Ready.
Oh, open her up.
And then the back opens where you park the ship.
All right, let me just correct for positioning here.
You don't need to make a roll to land. You already made your roll, but I gotta make a roll for him to basically hold it steady. It's routine. So honestly, I don't even know if I need to make that roll for him because he's
Dixon.
not.
Because it's
pretty
Dixon. Literally
Also,
the main
also
character.
true. Also true. I mean, I'll take the pretty much his becomment. I'll take the 3 effect from your roll on that and task chain style. That's 3 over, so that would be like a 2. So I'll add that to his roll when I roll it. Which skills? It's not gonna matter. His piloting's good anyway. Pilot spacecraft. All right, so there's 2. There we go. Yeah, you rolled a 14. So, yeah, that was like one of the most beautiful examples of that kind of a docking maneuver that could have ever been done. It was like perfectly textbook from both Solomon and Dixon.
It's like 2 eagles mating in midair.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the
Space bird
grace
sex.
the grace at which the grav car, the air raft, slides and strafes into the space is surprising even to you, Dixon, and the touchdown to the surface of your little interior kind of garage like hangar structure aboard the Vagabond is unfelt as the landing is completed, the door closing behind you, and now a kind of telltale, very distant sounding hiss sound fills your hearing as the interior of the chamber is pressurized.
Looks like y'all on board. You want me to head on up to the high port now?
Yes, sir.
All right, shouldn't take more than
Go ahead
15 to get up there.
All right, sounds good.
Want me to
Go ahead and
request docking?
refuel up there.
All right.
Yep.
Sir, I'll go ahead and start arranging for it.
Sounds
Solomon
good.
out.
Thank you.
And you kind of feel the very slight lurching of the M drive, which is already playing, I believe. I'll make it play here. Let's see. There we go. And then there we go. The comfortable and familiar view of the interior of the Vagabond awaits you beyond the glass of your grav car. What do you do?
Finally, I feel much safer back on board.
Yeah, let's get off this thing.
Good to have that over with.
Can I get some help with these grenades? I guess
You brought him, you carry him, you son of a bitch.
I'm so weak. You don't even realize.
Then that carry nose is going to help with that.
All right, I'm carrying them one at a time then.
This is how we fix it.
All right, and I'll reach
He-
down and pick up
he
the
gave you a
crate with my
case for
one
him
hand,
with
one
it.
arm.
There's a one hand. Oh, all right.
He gave
I
you
guess-
a case. He was like, "Hey, you can have the case free of charge when you bought them."
Still, it's still
His
like
case is worth like 20.
makes
grand.
it heavier, right?
I'll pick up the case with my sever arm.
He does. Oh man.
Okay.
Oh jeez. All right. You know that's like, man, that's got to be like 200 pounds almost of grenades.
So you guys make your way into the interior of the ship, past through the elevators, the small, kind of down the tube, walking and talking the whole time, and eventually I'll just put you in crew comments here, aboard the ship. And if you want to be somewhere else, go ahead. But You can split off from here. About to say you guys walk into here as you're talking, and then kind of this is your point to like whatever conversation you want, and then break wherever you want to go. So I'll just share the map to everybody. As you step into the crew commons, the door to the bridge opens up, and you can see Solomon at the stick there. He just kind of yells back through the door as opposed to being on comms with you, and looking in a more personal way over his shoulder a bit. Yeah, looks like we're getting ready to dock here in about 5 minutes. They're rearing the hatches now. They're not too interested in searching the vessel or nothing, as long as we're not bringing nothing on board. I told them we was just trying to get fuel. If you want to get on board, you'll have to declare shit and go through customs individually on foot or whatever they say. But yeah, we should be able to start refueling here in about 40 minutes or so. Just gonna be waiting in line.
Perfect. All right.
Just right. Do we have to go back down, I guess, and unload our passengers after we get the refuel?
It's gonna take 2 hours to refuel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
I think
have
we
to
all
back
do.
down.
Yeah, they're still up deck there. They've been waiting for clearance and stuff. I know one of them was that new couple was rearing to talk to you before they left the ship. And they had a couple of ideas around some such. They was enjoying the burgers a whole bunch too. They wanted to say, hey, this trip has been a hell of a ride, but the food for the last couple of weeks has been a big improvement.
I know, right? Oh my god, this is so good.
It has been. I do feel like I might be putting on a few kilos, though, that I don't need
I wasn't
to.
going to say anything.
It's all right, It's all
That's
all
the
sitting
married,
here at the
that's
stick.
the married life, I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah, we're settling in. I'm
I guess
nesting.
that's true.
Look at my stateroom right now.
This is better.
got
Yeah, I saw it. It's looking like something, all right. I liked
Feels
it.
a lot
It's
like home.
personal. It was personal, and I gotta say, I've been on a number of ships. This is one of the times I've been most comfortable my entire career out here traveling and such. She ain't the biggest ship I've been on, and she ain't the most dangerous, but she's got good damn staterooms, I'll tell you that. The showers are hot and strong, and this bridge, and he wipes his hand kind of across the holographic display, is one of the damn best I've ever seen.
Glad to have you aboard, Solomon.
Yeah, I'm glad to be aboard. This is mess a little better and taking care of a crazed Florian professor and his disobedient child, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were doing that.
Yeah, we're at the best deal. The pay was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, pay was less than what
Can't
you're
argue
paying me
with
by a
that.
little bit, but ain't much. This is a much better deal. Honestly, I was getting ready to leave that job at any time anyway, so. A few minutes go by. All right, we're sitting in line now. Nothing to do but just sit here and wait. Pumps will get to us when they get to us. That's basically like almost. It's not a conveyor belt. You don't move, but the thing moves to you eventually. Basically, the arms come and attach. He's just got to wait there to like approve the connection and the amount of fuel and all that. So, Psycho, if you want to go ahead and pay the creds and fill the fuel amount, you can. And I'll skip the calendar forward another hour. And
Do they take Imperial?
they will take Imperial or Florian here.
And how much? How much for unrefined? Because we can refine it ourselves.
Usually unrefined is only purchasable on low ports, not high ports, because they don't
shit.
hold. They don't hold
Oh, we gotta go back to the
large
low point.
quantities
Always
of
something.
You were
unrefined
wrong.
fuel.
I
in
thought it was
space.
cheaper up here.
Yeah, that's what we
Oh.
thought. That's why we came up here. But if they can't get
Yeah.
right,
I'll say
down.
roll a D. I'll say roll a D6, and I'll give you like a. If you roll a 5 or a 6, they'll have unrefined. They don't have any unrefined fuel.
And that was
damn.
how much? I forget.
For refined fuel,
I want to say 500.
I don't remember. Pull her up.
Trying to find it too.
That's fine. How much is the fuel? I think it's in the core book.
Yep, 500 per ton for refined. 100 per ton, front refined.
Prawn refined. Cool. Right. What was the thing I didn't mean to? There we go. I'm back. Everything's good. So yeah, you're filling up, I assume. Yeah, go ahead and subtract the appropriate wealth from whatever you're doing. Do that with.
Yeah.
And for totals.
25 grand.
Yeah.
Just go back to the low port.
Expensive ass grenades, man.
We made another mistake. We forgot that it's so expensive up here. We need to go back down there.
Go back down.
I mean, we have to go back down anyway because of the passengers.
And, Wells, and I'll pat my pocket.
Oh, that's right. This is the perfect place for him.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned to y'all, but, I accidentally left the seed in my pocket, and, when we were out there, it sort of heated up, I guess. Yeah, I think it's as good as any spot. But I was thinking maybe we take the air car out to the outside the city limits, maybe, and
Where
find a
the
spot for 'em.
nature still thrives.
So it being a garden world, there's a lot of that. It's like
Nature still thrives.
there's huge fields of like farmland and stuff, but beyond that, there's basically like what you might almost define as like a mega forest that covers most of the planet, right? There's of course ocean and stuff there too, as we established last time. This planet is more land than ocean, unlike our world, Earth, and most of that landmass is just one giant forest. The poles are cold, but they're not frozen. They're not like covered in ice caps or anything like that. The world is truly a better place for human life than Earth is on the entirety of its surface, which is why it's a garden world, right? That's kind of their thing. But it's also kind of better for all life, and so there's just more life here by a huge, like it's a much more diverse biome structure. There's more types of biomes, and those biomes are deeper in terms of their ecology. So whereas like here on Earth we might have that kind of exists, you have like the difference in a forest and like a rainforest that has like, holy shit, there's tons of stuff living in the canopy, and then at this level and this level, that's kind of the way it is in a garden world, right? There's stuff like floating in the skies that's alive and like crawling beneath your feet, and weird frog things over there, and you're constantly kind of running into weird animals and flocks of strange bird-like creatures even in the cities and stuff like that. And in this and these cities, as I've said a few times, are really spread out. They're not tall, very urban-like structures, and so there are like occasionally, like you'll see like a herd of weird alien deer running through the kind of the middle of this like city-type structure, and all of the ground car like ways are raised up a little bit, and most of the traffic is done by grav cars, so it's not really like a huge concern for like running over a bunch of deer or something like that. And the world is bigger and there's more land, so it's kind of, it's also lots a little bit heavier. Anyway, so that's
as good a place as any.
presents a lot of options for you. If you're looking for wilds, it's fucking, there's a whole planet.
Yeah, well, if we can get back down to the planet side, I don't think we ought to do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Plan. So yeah, I guess we're actually refueling down on the downport.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's the plan.
Wait, y'all wanna
Sus.
y'all want me to cancel the refueling then?
No, we can-
that's fine.
We can
we do
refuel
it.
here. It's fine.
All right,
Okay.
that's easier.
Less suspicious.
So, speaking of, what's our payment amount? What's our monthly payment on this Bag of bolts.
A little over $2,000. 200 grand.
I was gonna say $2,000. Fucking party.
I was
we're
like,
good.
what are you
Yeah.
talking about? That's
Yeah.
definitely not right.
By the day.
What do y'all think? Should we?
I was about to say, let's go buy some more ships.
Let's see, the running costs, not the payment, but just the running costs are
Yeah.
6,603 credits a month. And then the actual payment, I don't remember. The total cost of the vehicle was
Payment is 254,200.
so yeah,
And
260.
so how long has it been since we bought this thing?
I can tell you that.
Well, our first payment was due on 1/15.
Yeah, so you're like a few weeks late for your first payment.
Usually say, so why don't we send them a few payments and call it with a little
Yeah, you're not quite a month late.
picture of us all going thumbs up,
Naked.
real naked,
Yeah,
Roman
you're a
makes
little
himself,
you're a little
covered
over,
in special Astroburger special sauce.
you're a little over 2 weeks
Yeah.
late for your first payment.
Yeah. Roman makes himself a cup of purple basic.
Okay. As I described last time, it doesn't taste the way you would associate like a fruity purple beverage to taste. It's almost got like a weird vanilla-y kind of taste to it.
It's good.
It's not bad though at all. I mean, it's just
I kind of really like
Very
this
different.
purple flavor. I'm gonna be pretty sad when it's gone. We're gonna have to figure out how to get more.
just trading one addiction for another.
Campaign 2. Yeah. A
Roman
quest for
snorting purple basic
Purple
powder.
heist, yeah.
More like purple advanced.
Okay. So with that, you guys sit there and have this conversation for the better part of an hour. Yep. Looks like they're connecting us up now. Should be about 2 hours and we'll be full. So if you want to do anything in that 2 hour period, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just pushing it forward too.
Just repairs.
Right. Well, I would say like most of those repairs probably require you to be on either in a special docking space or on land, like so you can like go around the outside instead of like while refueling in a busy starport. So this would probably not be the time you would be able to do repairs. You probably have to load
Rudder's
and do
gonna
that.
get a milkshake.
Cleaning then.
Sure. I mean that definitely is always a thing. Okay, you get a milkshake. We'll skip ahead.
Catch bunk time unless our pilot needs relief.
That should be soon, actually. Pretty soon. Yeah, so...
Shift's over when I say it's over.
2 hours later... I'm just trying to remember like, the
just
patterns you
started
had.
flying.
Yeah, right.
Been in the spaceport.
Well, yeah, that's true, but he's been manning the actual helm the whole time. But that is true. So...
Just sitting there.
Right? He will... I mean, he's not complaining it either. But he is currently calling on comms over intercom to wherever you guys are in the ship.
All right, looks like they've wrapped up fuel and we're free to go. Where exactly you're looking to put her?
Well, Dixon, you wanted to take the air raft out. You want to go ahead and just part now? You know, we can just take the air raft out now and send Solomon back to the low port and go drop off the seed.
Got a feeling that might be something worth seeing. Yeah, why not?
All right.
I'll go with you.
So you're gonna get in the grab car and not check in down on the planet at the starport and like sneak off into the wilds.
Not sneak
Yeah.
off. I mean, would that be
'Cause we haven't
would that
been
be
back yet.
unusual?
Yeah, usually you have to go down to the starport first, basically check in, and then you can leave. That's what the starports are for on planets. So if you like go land somewhere else on the planet that isn't a starport, then that's like, you know, kind
But
of
with
a clandestine thing.
with
to do.
just the grav
That's okay.
car, would that be like weird?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what vehicle it is.
Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
All
And we
the
have to go
traffic's
down
supposed to
there with the
basically go
passengers,
through
right?
the 2 ports.
All right. Well,
That's also
then
true, I guess.
We
you said
can
you
just
wanted to
go.
bring
We
them.
can just go back to the low port and
Whatever you wanna do.
take off from there. All right, Solomon, just head back to the low port. We'll get repaired up, take care of some things.
Yo, I have to pay a debt too. So
All right, shouldn't be too long before we can get down there. Probably about another hour or so, and have us in a hangar. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Ready. Thank you, Solomon.
All right, Solomon out.
Yeah, and then like an hour later, you'll be in hangar. So, make whatever preparations you want to in that hour aboard ship. An hour passes by. It is now 12:20 p.m. on Friday, 11:05, 1:32. What do you do? Solomon will, of course, chime in over the intercom after you've landed.
All right, we're clear to do whatever you need to do, and I'll just stay up here and keep an eye on her.
All right, thank you. Well,
Good.
I guess let's tell the passengers
I think
do what they want.
Solomon said that they wanted to speak to us. The new couple, I think.
Yeah, the ones you married.
I think they had something they wanted to say. We should at least send them off, I guess.
Yeah, let's get out. Ruya, you want to take care of the guests?
Yes.
She like wipes some engine grease off.
I'm happy to help.
Like-
I know you're busy with the ship and all.
Puts away some like cleaning gloves.
Uh huh.
I'll do it.
You're like, I could use the break anyway. Yeah, I guess.
I guess we'll
I
just
don't know.
wait. I'll just wait outside the ship, or like in the main hangar, right? Where?
Alright.
What would?
For the
Nathan's
passengers, you're
building do?
waiting, Dixon.
What's that?
You said you're gonna wait for the passengers. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I think we all should wait,
Yeah.
like, to see him off.
All right.
But I figured the steward ought to go fetch him.
Initiate. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. Dixon, after this, you want to go? I'll go with you if you want to take the grav car and Mr. Wells' seat.
Yeah, whoever wants to go, we can all go or whatever.
I'd also have a debt I'd like to drop off on the way if we could.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, should we, if we want to pay, pay a few months on the ship, I actually have an old medical debt myself to pay off. So maybe we can find a bank or a
What,
post
you?
office or
With
however this
medical
whole
debt?
thing's done.
Think
Yeah,
that's
this
a good
motherfucker
idea.
isn't free, Did I ever tell you?
I thought it was free.
Maybe I never did tell you.
I don't think so.
Yeah, when I
thought
lost
you were
my
born with those.
When I lost my arm and my hand, those sons of bitches wanted to pay 75%. They said I was outside the courthouse, but I wasn't technically on duty, and motherfuckers wouldn't cover. That's the day I quit. That's the day I got.
Damn.
It skipped you. They skimped out on getting you a replacement set of hands on a technicality.
Yeah, that stupid son of
Hey,
bitch
Whistler.
blew my arm off,
I guess that's just the way that corporations operate.
and then they was trying to squeeze me out.
And you
Wouldn't even
quit
put
for
my
that.
ass back together. Damn right I quit. I walked off and
don't blame you
never
for
went
that.
back.
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked your convictions.
I mean, shit.
Certainly is hard to get the cop out of you, but
Excuse
you definitely
me,
made
son
some.
of a
You've
bitch.
made some progress.
I just drop your box of grenades.
Campaign over.
Man, well, I'm glad to have you.
There I
with
was.
us then.
There I was sitting in the goddamn hospital room, just absolutely fucking fuming. They sent their lawyer goon over to tell me, "Oh, sorry, we we'd be happy to say we're gonna cover 50%. I had to fight him for what I got.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
I had to. Luckily, I'd run into some lawyers in the duty, and managed to find one halfway straight. Yeah.
You know what's even crazier? I don't think without those you would have crawled out of that hull of that space station alive. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if you would have done it without those. Think about that, I guess.
I wouldn't have been here either if I wasn't in that hotel room. Thinking about
we'd all
what
be
the
pretty
hell I
dead
was gonna
if it
do
weren't
after
for you.
that, and why.
Turned out to be a pretty useful thing, eh? I mean,
I
who
can't
needs a
complain,
cessation
I
of
guess.
touch?
I can't complain.
You know, you have every right to, Dixon, but I think you've made the best out of your situation. Like a lot of us have, actually. I look at
I
Ryder.
mean, you have a
and I'm
sweet
like,
gun inside.
yeah, you don't have any lasers in your eyes. I'm sorry I couldn't do that for you, Ryder, but I'm not that skilled.
Yeah, I didn't get anything cool like that. Imperial
You know,
Navy.
while we're
Or,
here,
I wasn't in the Navy at the time. I was just drifting around.
you know what I could do, Ryder? I could replace that for you. That's not that hard. If you can find a replacement, if you wanted an upgrade while we're here,
Could
maybe
you
like,
really?
yeah, that wouldn't be that hard at all. Not with our medical station. Save some cost on
That
the
sort of thing.
operation.
I don't know if they're gonna have something
are
like
pretty
that in a
expensive, though.
backwater.
Wouldn't hurt to look, I guess. You too,
Yeah,
I
we
guess.
can
I could
look.
always give you some upgrades too, I guess.
I would
I've
love to
got
have
the
a cool eye.
Computer skills.
I mean,
and
purple
electronics.
is cool. Don't get me wrong. Having a purple eye is really cool.
Computer cancel.
I didn't quite get that.
Oh no. Bezos had to chime in. You're muted.
It's so cool because it's like the Enterprise, but you don't realize
Yeah.
how often you say that fucking word.
Yeah, that's why I had to change it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so
Yep.
cool.
That's good.
Ugh.
That's
Anyway.
good. Yeah. So
Thanks for
yeah,
showing up,
I would love
Whitster.
to look for an eye. Yeah, Whitster.
Hell yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Well, if not above board, it's possible that there might be something like that in the black market, but I don't know if we want to go back for another dip. But we
Put
could.
it in our pocket.
We could. At least we know somebody that's, honest about how dishonest they are. Whatnot.
It's true, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And we proved.
You know what really fuck
we
him up?
proved
Like,
ourselves.
Honor
You should
among
call him
thieves.
and see if he has any more of that purple basic.
He might. He actually might have said he did.
That'd
did
really
say
fuck
he
him
had
up,
more.
I bet.
You did say it more.
I mean,
Well,
purple basic,
hell,
an
who's
eyeball
up
and
for
an arm.
noodles?
I think he'd be down. Just
Well,
saying
let's
that.
take care of this business. Then let's
see the
go to town
passengers
and run
off.
some errands.
All right, sounds like a good plan.
do that. Yeah, the passengers wanted to talk to us.
Right.
Yeah, I'll
A
go
couple
way
did.
down at the unloading bay.
Okay. Stayruya, you were heading up to the passenger deck.
No, actually, I was just going to use the intercom once we're there to officially inform them that we have landed and are ready for passenger disembarking.
Okay. So without too
And then,
much
of course,
fanfare-
I'll wait in the main.
Got to spiel about a
Airlock
5-star
area.
rating and how important it is.
Keep mentioning that 5-star.
So so basically you're waiting for them at the elevator. Is that what I'm hearing, or what? Okay. They don't all arrive at once. The first to leave is the gentleman who wasn't part of the married couple, who had decided he wanted to get off ship, and without any fanfare at all, he just kind of nods and grunts as he leaves. He does not speak to you. He was not happy, as you knew, and he pretty much just walks off the ship. So he would pass by all of you
Don't
on
forget
the
to
way
leave
out.
5-star review.
As
What did he let him
as he passes by you, it's almost like he speed walks kind of off the ramp into the hangar and then into the elevator and up without saying a single word. He's gone. The couple, about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes later, yeah. About 10 minutes later, show up at the bottom of the elevator. The gentleman speaks up. So, this has been quite the journey. I wanted to thank you for everything you guys have done. This is, not what we planned on, but it's definitely changed our lives, and I think for the better. And they both kind of look at each other for a moment, and then she speaks up. So there was one thing before we leave. So that weird guy that was on board, the one that protected us.
Mr. Wells.
Yes, Mr. Wells. He said that this was ours to hold, but if we were to ever to leave, to give it to one of you. So here, I guess. And she hands you. She like rummages kind of in her pocket for a moment and pulls out what looks to be like a coin, basically. Not sure why you would have this, but I guess here you go. And hands it to you. It is it is written not in. It's got writing on it and engravings and stuff on it. It looks like a pretty simple metal coin. It isn't immediately discernible as like what type of metal it is. Probably some kind of alloy mixture. The language on it isn't in current Gaganglic, but it is root Gaganglic, and you can recognize that. And it looks like it's stamped at least First Imperium. Well, I don't know why you'd have that, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you again. And she gives you kind of like a little hug, and so does he, roughly the same time. And they both head into the main elevator with down into past the rest of you. And each of them like shakes your hands and makes eye contact with you, and eventually like kind of breaks and like hugs, and at the end they're all like a little bit misty-eyed. They're not crying or anything like that, but they're like, and there's a moment where they walk to the elevator to leave the hangar, and they all turn back and look at the ship for a brief moment, pause, wave, and then turn and get on the elevator and leave. And that's the last time you ever see of them.
Alright, Jesus Christ, now we just have to get rid of these low berth motherfuckers, and then we'll never picking up another passenger ever again.
What are you talking
Right?
about? Of course we will. That's how we make money.
That's what's crazy though. We lost 3. Like
Well,
You did lose 3.
we could do better, yes, but
It was just our first. There's
that's
always
very
hiccups.
bad. That's very bad for our first run. Losing 3 bodies.
And I bet we'll lose less next time.
Yeah.
That would look better. I mean, it can't get
Look,
any
next
worse,
time-
right?
Next time we'll only pick up 2. That way we can't lose 3.
It was only like
Would that make you
3 out of
happy?
11,
Would that
right?
be
It was like
better?
3 out of 11.
If they're paying as much as
12, something like that.
Space is a dangerous place.
they knew that, I guess.
They knew what they signed up for.
Well, I'm glad that they found love. It's nice. I didn't see that coming, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Pretty crazy. You know, it kind of is similar to what we were just discussing above deck, is like finding the best in a bad situation, right? Knowing that wherever you are now, if you're happy, the bullshit was worth it, I guess. I don't know.
well, I was
Kind
hoping
of
to
poetic.
exchange passengers every week. So
Well, I'm probably going to interact with them less.
we could get more money that way.
That would be nice.
If
Speaking
you
of
don't
money,
interact
what
with
is
them, we'll get more
what
money.
is that?
A coin? I don't know.
Does it
Yeah,
look like?
that
Does it look
looks
like gold?
old.
Looks like First
Um,
Imperium.
It looks like it's a First Imperium stamped credit, like physical credit, which is a thing that they only did in the very, very, very early days of the First Imperium, or the Empire that was the proto First Imperium before it was ever called the First Imperium. It might date to that time period, to pre-Imperium, post Old Earth, pre-Imperium time period. It's hard to say exactly what the metal composition is. It looks silvery in color, not golden in color. It's like more silvery than yellow. But you can't, I mean, immediately it's a little duller in color. It doesn't shine brightly like silver. But the composition of the metal, like when you get a close look at it, is definitely not like a common metal that's used.
Tin or anything,
yeah. It also might be, it might actually be like electronic too, like a data wafer or something like that. That's not completely uncommon either. Remember, even though this is thousands of years old, they still had crazy high-tech spaceships and stuff at that time period, right? So, yeah.
Because this is like 3,000 years after.
Yeah,
like,
roughly
we
speaking.
spread, which is already into the future.
Yeah, I mean, we won't get into the timeline now, but yeah.
Well,
This
Captain,
is
go ahead
well
and hold
after
on to that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's valuable to somebody somewhere, right?
Basically, that coin would be like from like 2,000 years from now in real life, but you are currently like 5,000, 6,000 years from now in real life. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I'll put that coin in my backpack. Is there an object for it?
You'll just have to add it. You'll just add First Imperium.
I'll add it.
Silver coin. It's got JFK's face on the back.
You don't need to track weight or anything on it.
Is that who's on the silver dollar?
Oh, yeah, I think so, actually. Yeah.
Alright.
So silver dollar 50-cent piece, one of the two.
I think it's 50-cent piece, actually, now that I think about it. I think
Maybe it
it's
is.
a $50.
But yeah, so you take the silver looking coin. It's hard to say, like, without doing any kind of tests on it, if it's like what kind of metal it is, or like if it is like a data wafer or anything like that. But as far as you can tell, it's a First Imperium coin. The value of which is hard to say. Like, as legal tender at the time of the First Imperium, I would make you make a history roll to know that even. So like knowing what its value is now is going to be it's like an appraisal roll. Basically it's an artifact, right? It's not like a coin. It's not legal tender. You can go to the 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee with, right? So
I do know someone we're going to meet who has a special interest in artifacts.
Yeah,
I was
maybe
gonna say
her.
we could ask Dr. Jane.
Also, everything Mr. Wells has given us has not been inexpensive. I just want to add.
True.
True. True.
And this was something he kind of was saving for some reason. So I tend to believe this is very valuable. Keep an eye on that.
Interesting that he would give it to them to hold, but then tell them to give
It was a
to
trigger
us.
event,
To
right?
give it to us.
It
yeah.
was something, and I thought it was going to be something like, obviously time is not the same for him, so he saw all these events happen before experiencing them, so he planned things in accordance to when they would play out. So if he anticipated you leaving his seed here, it may be connected to that.
Yeah. Wow.
Hard to say with something like that. I mean, I have no idea how an entity like that can even contemplate existence, let alone the world around him.
Well, shall we head into town?
Yes, let's pay some debt.
all right. And so with that, you guys are gonna pass through customs and get in your graph car and go to town like that. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yep. I just
Okay.
got my stunner on me.
So if you don't have anything that is like declarable, we don't even need to worry about it. You can just pass straight through customs, no problem. It takes about 30 minutes or so for you to go through, and then like another 30 minutes or so for the graph car to be cleared, and it's waiting there for you outside of the hangar for you to go. Let me go ahead and change the time. So keep in mind it is currently 1:30 a.m. 11:05, 1:32 on Friday. So it is currently, but I mean local time. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's nighttime on the planet that you're on. That's kind of like your ship time. So I don't know. We'll just make it
Interesting.
yeah, because that's tracking ship time, not like necessarily like local planetary time. So yeah, I just did a roll to see what time of day it was. So it would be morning now, basically, on the planet. So like, yeah. Planets spin. So on one side it's always morning. So wherever you fly, you know, you got a vehicle that flies fast. You could go to the sun side if you wanted to. And on that note, we'll pick up with you in the grav car, heading into the city. And I'm gonna take a real quick, like 5-minute break to use the restroom and stuff. So we'll be right back. See you guys in a few minutes. week there. Hope everybody had a good one. I did. So, where we left off, you were in the grav car, the air raft, sealed air raft, heading out of the hangar, having just finished going through customs here on Asus, heading off into the Star Town. What's your destination? What are you doing? Let me do this.
All right, so to make a payment, what's that take? Do we go to a post office?
I think so, yeah.
Do we go to a bank?
It's basically like where you send mail.
So where
here
do
in
you
the-
send mail?
So a post office.
Yeah.
Post office.
You can do, it's not exactly a post office because it's like, it's more private than that, but like, yeah, it's basically a post office. It's basically where you send packages and everything too, so.
So the Amazon store.
It would be somewhere here in the starport. So I would say there's probably here, given that you're in the low port and it's Asus, which is an independent world, it's not going to have like a actual like Imperium specific representative here, but what they do have is essentially like an exchange and like a standard kind of mail, because this is on the Florian route. It's one of the main worlds on the Florian route, so money transfers, literally trade agreements and requests and stuff like that are being moved every week, through here. So there's essentially probably a small like kiosk like office that you can do this kind of stuff literally where customs is at, and probably on Imperium worlds those are official Imperium banks and stuff like that, but here it's more like an exchange because they're literally going from Aslan money, Florian money, and Imperium money, and even some Zodani money here in this area of the of the Dust Belt, right? So because it's this huge trade lane, so I would say it's kind of like being in an airport and going up to like the place where you change your money, but you could also kind of drop off and pay bills and stuff. So we can roleplay that if you want to, but I would think it's probably largely just a kiosk where you kind of like, it's automated. You go up and punch buttons and pay, that kind of thing, and it gets sent.
I'm gonna walk up.
Yeah, Ryder, come here. Can you get my picture real quick?
And I just want you to take my picture when I'm putting this chip in the slot. over
Picture of
here.
paying your debt? Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Well, debt free right now. Well, the ship, but I don't count that because they'll never catch us. But
right.
this other
Why
one,
we got the good ship.
that's why we went far and
Alright.
fast. All right,
I'll
yeah, I'm
pull out
ready.
my
I'm ready.
Polaroid.
Actually, take a video. What am I thinking? Take a video. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice,
right.
nice. Good job. All right. Take a video of me paying off my debt.
All right, I got you. And I'll turn it around. Look at him. Yes,
never-
all right.
Yeah. Pay the
If you've ever
debt.
gone through like a
Woo!
metro
High
and
five.
you've like put points on your metro card kind of thing, or subway or whatever, like for public transit, it's basically that kind of a situation.
Right,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, right, all right.
subtracting 10,000 and I'm removing my debt.
10,000. Holy shit, mine was only like 1,200. Oh my god.
Anybody else paying off personal debts?
I am as well. 10K.
I'll drum Dixon.
Yeah, I think in character generation we said, like we basically, I don't remember. It was like we didn't get money, so any debt we incurred. I don't remember what my debt was actually from, but I think it was.
the
I think it was leftover
the
medical stuff.
25%
that
that
was
you weren't.
medical.
It was the 25% that they
Yeah,
didn't pay for.
I may have had that slightly wrong, but something like that.
What's the exchange rate? And does our ship need to be paid in Imperial?
AJ5. It can be paid. It can be paid for in any credit type you want to use. One Florian credit. Okay, one Imperium credit is 0.8 of one Florian credit.
The Florians are worth 20% more.
Yeah.
25% more.
So since we're heading towards Imperial space, I'll just go ahead and exchange all of our Florian for Imperial.
Yeah, 25%.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Paying them.
Nice to not owe this money.
Does
My
feel a
eyeball
little
paid
better.
off. Pretty
Oh, is that
nice.
what that was for? Nice.
So what is it after? What's the total after exchanging?
I feel like you've gotten your use out of it.
What?
At
You have
least.
8 Florians to 10 Imperium. So
I
you
thought
said that
Florians were worth more.
they are. So we got 8 million Florians, and we can convert it to 10 million Imperium.
Oh, I see what you
It's
mean.
worth 10.
Oh, so you had 8 million Florian. That's right. Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. I thought you had more Florian than that though from before. He said he was doing all of it.
Wait.
Do we want to
So-
keep?
so-
Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter, huh? We live here now.
We do.
This is our home.
That's 11,400,000 and some change.
You multiply by 1.25 to get.
Yeah,
That's a 1% of our ship.
And with plenty of money
that's
to
1/8
grow
of our
on.
ship.
Wait, what?
1/8 of our ship. Well, okay.
Sounds better.
So this is
So,
like 10%
I'll go ahead
of our
and
ship
make-
paid off.
I'll make 2 payments.
Okay. So you
Well,
register
I'll
one.
make 3. That way, we should be able to get to Fist before we have to make the payment again.
All right. So the first payment on there, as you like put it in and everything, it notes like it reads the contract data and everything that you have, and it's like, oh, okay, well your first payment's 2 weeks late, but you don't incur any fees until it's a month late, so you don't have to pay any extra fees. But had it gone 2 more weeks, you would have had to pay more money, which is 0.5 of one of your payments extra for every one. So eventually it pile up, and then after I think it's 3 months, then they start. Or maybe it's 5 or 6. I don't remember. But after a certain period of time, they send people after you. But
We play games
not-
to escape the
you're not
real
there.
world.
not in travel, you don't. Not finance.
But in travel, you can actually get lucky and make millions of credits, and
That's true.
Actually, ever pay it off.
Yeah,
So.
part of the
Yeah,
fantasy of playing
exactly.
Traveler is that you can actually do pay off your debts.
The fantasy is that you can run really fast.
Yeah. I mean, you just lived part of the fantasy. You like ran up to the thing and paid off all of your debt.
I know.
all your
That's why I
personal
felt
debt,
like.
right?
I imagine, so like me and Ryder were like really excited about it. We high fived, and I imagine I filmed Dixon just like walking up to it and putting it in, and like noticing me like filming him and getting like mad about it.
He's like, what? What are you,
Yeah,
what are you
like-
filming me for?
What? Yeah, what?
Rat fuck, man.
It's like in the whole movie cut, you know, Dixon's like the grumpy
Roman and I are
asshole.
both filming Dixon as
Just
he
start
goes up
punching the
there.
machine with my
Yeah, you get the
sidearm,
low
just
angle.
so-
I'll get the high.
Okay, so you guys each go up to the machine and punch in your personal debt, paying it off, and then paying off 3 months of ship payments. So 2.5 months ahead on your ship payments right now.
Fucking decent. Decent. though.
And basically, after doing all of that, it all being registered, it takes a
Results.
second to click through, and then it clicks over to green, and just a little kind of like almost like avatar type, like Clippy type figure appears on the screen, and just is like, and like that's paid, and
We flick 'em
he's
off.
kinda like, yeah, it doesn't notice, it doesn't respond. Flips over to the next screen, and yeah, you are currently in the you're currently green, your status green or whatever.
I honestly can tell you all, I never saw this coming. I can honestly tell you.
Wait, what? I thought that's why we were all out. What do you mean?
I was
thought we
so
were gonna
happy
fail.
when I found out that we were 26 parsecs away. Because we got a little bit of a head start. Because I did not honestly see us being able to afford a payment.
Well, what?
I'm
why
really
didn't you say
happy.
something sooner? For
I'm really
damn
happy.
it.
I didn't have any other options. What do you think this was? You think I wanted to do this?
what's about all that bullshit? God damn it!
Listen, the
All right,
message
let's
of
get
the
on
day
with
is the message of the day is that if you're happy with where you are, the bullshit was worth it. I'm pretty fucking happy. with
Can't
it.
win if you don't bet, huh?
It's another way to play the game, yes.
I mean, I had never flown a spaceship
matter.
before I agreed to
You
pilot
what?
us all around. So
You what? No, hang on. Let's circle back to this. You what? You've never flown a spaceship before you
I
got
mean,
together.
I flew a shuttle from one ship to another ship. It's the same thing.
We put our lives in the hands of a man who flew shuttles in the Navy. How many times?
Once.
The once? Wait,
You
the
had
one
training.
time that
It was a really
skill.
big deal.
the one
But it
time
was a
that
really
we
big
saw
deal, though.
the one time that we saw, yeah.
Yeah, that one
was
time.
actually-
Yeah, that one time.
I can't remember if Roman saw that, but yeah. it was
I'm a
pretty big.
member
That
of
one
the
time, yeah.
Astro Burger Enforcement Force. Get down on your knees, you stupid sons of bitches.
Oh, we're sorry.
Wait, you've been undercover since
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning?
I got one look at y'all and I said, these are some dumb motherfuckers who gonna steal something along the way.
I knew you weren't just a
The
regular cop.
way he's
Oh,
hungry for them Astro Burgers, we got software that predicts people that are gonna go a little burger crazy. We call it.
Burger crazy.
Dixon, don't joke. You're joking.
Nah, I'm just.
Oh, Jesus
just-
Christ. Man,
Oh, fuck, Dixon.
I'm
God
genuinely
damn.
nervous about that, too.
Roman's face is just solid red at the
I
moment.
know, I like look over my shoulder.
Or like
I'm,
white, like in
looking
fear.
around. I'm not even gonna
Alright.
attempt to make a recon check, but I'm
Well, on that
looking.
note, all of your statuses are in the green. Your debts are cleared, and your payments are 2.5 months ahead on the ship. What do you do from here?
What do you say we take care of that?
Yeah, let's do it. Y'all load up. I'll be back in 1 minute, and I'm gonna pop into a store and pick up a package.
All right.
He is an undercover spy.
I gotta say, I'm sweating
All right,
still.
let's do it. So I say we just head out and follow our gut and see what happens.
I feel like that's led us here. So, why change now?
All right, and I'll
That's
pull out
what
the.
we're
perfectly
doing.
fair.
Yeah, why change what we're
I'll
doing?
pull out the seed. Does it feel warm?
It does feel warm.
I'll hand it to the captain solemnly. Why don't you hold on to this, Captain?
Okay.
You feel it's
Instantly
got a
turns
little,
cold.
it's got a little heat. You feel
I
that?
do that. I do feel the heat.
So you're touching it with your bare skin.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it feels warm to the touch. And you hear a voice. So far away. It's very interesting that we would all have connected for such a short period yet. So interspersed, so many connections. So many connections. It's you turn to your right and you can see Wells standing kind of amidst the rest of you here. He's looking off kind of into the middle distance, not like at any particular thing.
We all can, or just
That you just Ryder can see it. Not looking at any one particular person or thing or anything like that, but it's almost as if he's focused on something unseen, something the way you turn your vision to it, it's just like there's nothing there. And he doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence or react in any kind of way to any of your body language in surprise or anything like that. And he takes a few steps forward and just looks up and fades away.
Did y'all just see that?
See what? What are you looking at?
You seeing our boy now?
Oh,
Yeah.
both
he
saw
just
him?
he just talked to me and
You
looked
all
out
did every time
there.
you touched it.
I just heard him.
You heard the young Wells, but yeah.
I point
I
out to
told you I haven't
where
seen him on.
he was looking. Over
Is it-
there, he was
Head that
looking.
way. All right. And I'll kind of
I
head
think
that,
that might be
general
where he
direction.
wants to go.
So, you guys, are you walking? What are you doing? Are you getting in the
Oh, no, we're
grab
in the car,
vehicle
yeah.
or okay?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we're
my
doing
mind. We were in the car already.
All right, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I was saying this was like outside before you even got in the vehicle and decided to leave. Right as you were like just paid your stuff, you turned to him and you're like, hey, Captain, here's this. I'm gonna handle something, and you go off and do that. That happens. You play out. So we'll come back together. You guys get in the car and you head off in that direction. You take off probably for a few minutes before you leave trailing bits of city behind you, and are now just passing over lanes and lanes of shrubs separated, like actual like shrub rows almost, or hedgerows they're called, separating huge fields. Because you're in a grav car and you're kind of flying low, you can actually get a pretty good view of them. They're not like hedgerows like we have here on Earth, which are common, I think, in the UK for separating fields like that. These are actually much taller than that. They're about 20 feet tall, and they are comprised of what look to be like little individual, like very thin trees that in some cases kind of intertwine and grow up to about a height of 20 feet. They seem to be perfectly leveled off at the same level. And it looks like they're pretty well maintained. I would say probably because you're kind of covering a pretty large distance here. You're flying pretty low. You get a pretty good view. You can see there's equipment in these fields that are working. Mostly is automated, right? Tilling and planting, harvesting equipment. That's just essentially all automated. As well as you'll see the occasional like pretty large drone flying by transporting stuff, as well as even some that head over to these hedgerows and trim them, including the tops down the levels as you're passing through the area. You travel for probably about 20-25 minutes before you would consider yourself entering any part of what would be wild here outside of the Star Town, and within a 40-minute period, you're not really seeing many buildings anymore. You're now in the ever-present and kind of constantly evolving forests of Asus. What do you do? You're flying about, like, I'd say, like, if you were close enough to see all that stuff, you couldn't be more than, like, probably 1,000 meters up.
Are there places that are owned, like farmed, or like?
Absolutely, yeah. There's private ownership on Asus.
But is there parts that are wild, like?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's parts that are fully wild. It's basically, it's owned by the government of Asus,
Yeah, sure.
but it's kind of like National Forest or whatever in America.
Right.
But
Are there ruins?
on Asus, not that you can see.
Are there mountains in the jungles?
There are a few mountains here and there, yeah. It's mostly not like rugged mountains. It's mostly like rolling hills kind of situations. When you have a range that comes up, it's the highest elevations that it reaches to are probably close to like what we would think of as less than 500 meters for a mountain. So these are not huge mountains. These are kind of like what we have in like Virginia in the United States, but even a little bit smaller than that. No big rugged peaks.
Getting anything?
They also look like they're ancient mountains.
Does anyone know any particular holy spots or important spots on the planet, or what's the highest point? Maybe that's special, right?
Hoping we'll feel something, or maybe the seed will get even hotter, or maybe we'll just see a nice little grove,
Hold
nice
it
little
out
nice
on
little
your
tree,
palm. Does it like spin
Nice
around and
little waterfall or something maybe that looks
a
nice.
waterfall would be nice?
All this seems a little silly, but I can't help but think maybe Wells would like that. I think everything that had to do with Wells was a little silly.
It'd be nice maybe like a spot in the jungle that's like cleared out, like a little circle or something that we could
Yeah, like something.
put him by himself.
I mean, we got time. Let's we spend a lot of time in space anyway. Let's might as well go for a ride and see what happens.
I mean, there's no real like time limit on this kind of activity. So if you're just spending a lot of time to kind of just look for a cool looking clearing in the jungle growth here. And when I say jungle, don't think tropical jungle. This is still temperate, the area you're in, but it's just so lush with life. There's no other word to use other than like a jungle. It is kind of a rainforest the way that we would define a rainforest, but like they probably actually have a little less rainfall than we would actually classify to be a rainforest. They just have the biodiversity that one would have. And with that kind of flying around here in this small vehicle, looking at places. You get a cool view of it all, right? That you can get really close down to stuff, and you can see that some of the structures here that are tree-like, they're not native terrestrial trees or anything like that, but they're a tree analog. They are very big, whereas the mountains here and stuff are pretty damn small, most likely because they're so very ancient that they've been worn down by erosion over a very, very long period of time. The trees and the life is abundant and enormous. It's like the smallest of the trees are like our redwoods, basically, right? These just enormous trees that don't look that big until you start flying down near them, and you're like, holy shit, the trunk of this thing is bigger than the whole grav car. You know, it's kind of daunting a little bit when you get down there. Like, well, okay, the scale was a little bit weird, but beautiful, and maybe best described as savage in some ways. There are creatures all over it. I mean, they're not like hiding themselves. As you like fly near the canopy, there's strange monkey-like carnivorous creatures that kind of like chitter and follow along for a brief moment, looking up at you. There are these floating creatures that move across the sky without wings. They're seemingly inflated with some kind of gas. Occasionally you see one of them dip down and come up with a bit of small prey. It's not a safe place, right? Like it's like a jungle would be on Earth, you know, but it's not like a death zone or anything like that. But it's just so full of life that it's everywhere you look. You know, there's a flock of weird birds. Oh, there's some of those floating things. Holy shit, look at those things down the canopy chasing us, like dolphins chasing a ship along the waves. But before too long, you do come across a clearing. And there is a lot of rivers. There are a lot of rivers here that pass into the rather small oceans. So you would see these rivers that are lazy and wide, and oftentimes fairly deep, as a lot of them are very old, that cut across the landscape, kind of able to fly along them easily. We're talking rivers like the Nile or the Mississippi that are just very wide at certain points, right? It's that kind of a thing, or the Amazon even at certain points. All of them, really. So this kind of flying along the riverbanks and looking for all of this has been...
Hey, your mic's going...
That's bad. I don't know, so much.
It wasn't fixing itself.
Yeah, we'll see. Check. I don't know. I'll try. I'll see
a little better.
But flying along the riverbanks here, eventually you find yourself a clearing where the river spills into a gentle, about 3 or 4 meter high waterfall that forms a semicircle around a clearing where it pours in and creates a lot of mist that gets kicked up in the area and catches the rays of brilliant sunlight that shine down from the cloudless sky and cast a small but easily discernible rainbow across it all as you fly above it. And that I would say is probably the closest thing to like, wow, that's a standout beautiful spot you get after like a few hours of just Sunday driving, basically.
Well, how about that there? Why don't we take her on down?
It looks pretty perfect, actually.
Is that still
I'll
popping?
bring it down. No, seems okay now.
Yeah, I don't know. Voice mod might be doing crazy stuff. Who knows?
It needs another update.
Oh, God, I hope not.
All right, I'll land the car.
All right, there's no roll
he
for
warm?
that. It's
Yeah,
as I said, it's a pretty big.
Right there?
You're the one holding it. Is Ryder the one holding it?
Ryder has it.
Okay. I mean, as you land in this space, it takes a second to touch down. It's a very light landing. There's no roll necessary. It's a giant field you're landing in, so it's not hard. It's a grass field, so you might miss your target by a few meters, but nobody can tell.
No, I would never would. But
So you put it down easily in the field here. The doors, basically wing doors, crack open and move up, and you feel the seed in your hand to see if it feels warmer. And at first it's like hard to to tell if it feels warmer at all. But then like the fresh air kicks into the interior of the space, and you get this smell. It smells like a sweet grass that's blowing through the air, and you can see little flecks of sparkling pollen that catch the sun rays as you move through here, and you turn to look at it because it's beautiful for a moment. And it's very different than what you've been seeing, right, as you've for the last several months of living on a spaceship. And in doing so, you place the seed directly in the sunlight, as it still sits in your hand as you turn slightly. And in the moment you do so, you feel the warmth of the sunlight on your hand and arm. And so it takes a second to register that the seed in your hand has now warmed up considerably, much more so than the sun would account for. And looking down, you can see the seed is also increased in size, about 30%.
I think he likes it here.
It looks a lot bigger than it was before.
That's
It's
good
really warm
news.
too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hop out. Go to kind of the center of the semicircle of water. You know, where the waterway comes out of the waterfall.
Okay. So you're stepping a little ways away from the actual river, like basin. Okay.
Yeah, start digging a little hole with my power arm.
Yeah, I mean, you have a power arm. I don't think it would be hard for you to dig a little hole. Or just tell me how deep you're making it, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of 8 inches, you know, kind of a couple good scoops.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if you like use your fingers or if you like pull out like a little knife or something, but without much time at all, you're able to just scoop out a little space and pull up the earth there. You can see when you do so, the earth is rich and dark in color. Like the soil is almost black. It's so dark, and there's like, you know, you have to kind of set it to the side, and an earthworm analog kind of moves through it as you've set it to the side there.
Drop it.
Oh, bad place. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. Back in the graph card.
Back on the ship. Jesus Christ, this is disgusting.
Wells, you don't really want to be here, do you?
It gets really cold.
Really cold? Really small?
Well,
What do you do?
All right, I'll put the seed in the hole.
since you always talked in riddles, Wells, I have no goddamn idea if this is what you wanted. But it's
This is a
vibrant
nature place for you. Yeah.
Whose place is any, right?
Well, you know, he always talked about a city. I was wondering if he wanted to be in some kind of big metropolis somewhere, but
He did
Oh.
that when he
That's
wasn't
the
a
opposite
seed.
of this.
when he wasn't a seed, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll need time to grow into the form that will eventually take over the universe, one metropolis at a time. So
All right,
he'll
I'll
get there.
I'll
I'm not
cover it
too
with
worried.
dirt.
You
I hope
place
this
it
is
in
the right
the-
thing to do, and
in
if
the hole?
not, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
He seemed to do all right on his own before. And if
You
this
place-
really is a
you-
seed,
You place it in there. It's about, I guess, what, 40 centimeters down or so. You scrape the earth over top that Dixon had dug up. Do you do anything else?
I guess we should
Like,
put
wait
some
there
water on
for
it.
I was thinking the same
wait
thing.
there for a few minutes. Well, I mean, the soil's nice and
You always put water on
everything's
the
nice.
I'll
and
go
juicy.
and I'll go to the river and just like cup my hands and put it in the river and just like walk cupped water over it and
As you
Drop
dip
it
your
on.
hands into the water of the river, you can
Nice.
see, you know, the sun reflecting off the caustic surface of the caustic being the waveform of the not caustic because it's burning. It's two different types of caustic. It's the
Oh my
same
God,
word.
my hand.
Thanks,
Oh my
English.
God.
But yeah, looking, you see like a rippling, caustic reflection of your own face as you dip your hands beneath the water, and even a few like tadpole type analogs in the river catch your eye. Not directly where you're at. Everything like scatters away from you as you dip your hands into it. But man, this place is teeming with life. You pull some fresh water from the river, and your hands dripping it, and as you quickly kind of carry it over and begin to pour it onto the packed earth that you placed above Wells's seed, you having emptied your hands of water now, kind of shake them dry, and all of you sit around and look at it. How long are you gonna stay here and look at it?
I'd say we give it a good 10 minutes, just sort of sit around.
All right, you guys kind of just sit here.
Yeah, no, I'm not just sitting there. Sterui's got her clothes in the grab car, and she's out laying naked in the grass, just stretched out in the sun, soaking it up.
Doing cat stuff. All right. Yeah, it's warm sun. It feels great. I mean, it's something like you haven't encountered in a very long time, right? Some ships have the vitamin D lights installed that simulate sunlight in certain areas and stuff to help with mood and to help with skin health and all this stuff. Yours doesn't. So it is nice to have, because you haven't had that in a while. Some of the high ports you've passed through have had it, and you've been on surfaces of other worlds. It's not like you haven't seen a star in months. But it's been a long time since you've had a moment to lay in a field and bake in the sun of a beautiful world like this. Maybe even for some of you, years, depending on where you've lived and how you've traveled. In some ways, this feels like a bit of a vacation, right?
Yeah,
Kind
she's
of
definitely.
Yeah,
This
I
is
would
my
join her.
vacation moment. Give me an hour at least.
right.
I would strip down too and lay out.
All right, you guys find yourself a comfortable corner of the field and lay about around the area in which you have planted
I will
the seed.
take off my shoes and socks and put my feet in the water.
Okay. The water is cool but not cold. It's a little bit cooler than the ambient temperature, but it's not uncomfortable to put your feet in. The depth where you are at the edge of the river here is pretty shallow. It's basically just lapping at your ankles until you step a few feet in, and then it gets close to your knees pretty quickly. The depth of the river in the middle, because remember, these are wide rivers, like I said, like the Mississippi Delta kind of thing. Like, you're looking like way across to the other side. It's not like I could throw a stone and hit it. It's like I can barely see it, right? It's pretty far away, the other side of this river. And so, it's very, very deep in the middle, but it takes a while to get there. So where you're standing is kind of like standing on the shore of a lake a little bit. The water is very gently moving, that you could feel it as you're standing in it, the gentle current of this water lapping along. And as the sun catches the caustics along the surface of the river, you can see how it moves very gently and lazily along. It's nice.
Roman is hiding from the sun. He's got he's probably in the grav car. I'm in the grav car, and I've got my shirt over me, and I'm on my laptop, and I'm doing the same thing I've been doing, scrubbing through footage of news reports and things.
Okay.
Any new information I can get. I'm like, it's pretty nice out here, but it's a little too much outside for me right now.
It's not something you're used to at all.
I'll be honest with you. If Steruia wasn't here to protect us with her, good instincts, I'd be way too scared to be out here butt ass naked while all these animal sounds and jungle sounds are.
You look over and Steruia, and she's just asleep.
I appreciate that.
Good thing Steruia is protecting us.
He's out there killing shit with her dew claw, naked.
I reckon she
sleeping.
could if the need came up.
You're pretty different, Dixon, than when we worked together all those years ago.
I don't know if I
It's
ever
alright,
said
y'all
it.
knew each other.
This is
Opened up a lot. Yeah.
This is just a nice little moment here. I've never been to a planet like this. I don't think. Something that was just this lively.
Can't say that I have either. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's all right, Doc. Just give us an hour.
The biosphere here is very mixed. It has like insects and things that are like mizeable and non-mizeable. So like there are things here that grow that you could eat and not eat, and digest and not digest. There are bugs here that like when they bite you and stuff, it's just like, well, that has literally no effect. They can't eat you. They get nothing from you. Maybe you're even kind of slightly toxic to them. But then there's also insects that are just like, sweet, it's salt, you know, and totally get a benefit from it. So there's sort of like a weird mixture because there's such a biodiversity here. But after about 40 minutes or so of kind of baking in the sun and getting comfortable and having conversation, you know, things are kind of starting to die down. Ryder, you turn around, kind of wading through the river here. You're probably now about shin deep in the river. Just kind of looking around. Occasionally you see fish or a fish analog of some kind skitter by you. They
reach in and try to catch one.
They generally stay as far away from you as possible. As soon as you get close, you see them go away. But if you want to try and grab one, I'll go ahead and let you make a melee attack roll.
Yeah. Use your robot arm.
It's gonna be really hard.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a robot arm, do you?
I don't.
I could probably fix that for you too.
For a minute, I thought this river was caustic, and I was gonna get an arm.
Dixon, I'm you now.
Oh,
Gross,
Okay.
man. Come on, dude.
I tried to stab it with my knife.
You step down into the river, and I would say you don't like fall in, but you stumble a bit and splash up water on yourself. You're like, oh shit, my pants are wet now. But it gets away. Like you were like literally like meters away from getting it. Like it was gone so fast. Yeah.
The near
These
miss.
alien fish are smart.
Yeah, sure, it's the fish.
He rolled a 3.
Yeah.
And he had to hit a 12. we didn't share that roll.
That was
Well,
close.
maybe
I
we ought to
almost
get
had it.
going.
Almost had him.
And I'll start getting
All right.
Yeah.
back together.
You
I
turn
hope
back
Rose likes
around
it
and
here.
start walking back towards the grav car. The sun now kind of a little bit lower in the sky, but not by much. Looking back on the spot where you saw the earth that you planted, the seed. There's a slight little glimmer of something that catches the sunlight there.
What's that?
What is it? What's that? I want to go to it.
You get close, you can see it looks like a very, very, very tiny version, almost identical in form and shape to the plant you saw in the small potted plant that was in the stateroom. And when I say identical, I mean like it's like a fractal situation. As I described before, the plant itself was kind of derived. If you looked before at its detail, you would see that each little piece of it was just another version of the larger self. The entirety of its form, a fractal. And this is even more evident at this point. But this is essentially the smallest component that you visually, with just the naked eye, have seen of that plant-like structure, which you were familiar with. You carried it around and all this stuff, so it's not like it's not like the way it looks is surprising.
What do you know?
But it's about a centimeter, 2 centimeters tall right now. Just a tiny little version of that plant-like structure.
What do you make of that? Would we take it with us? No.
I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe be back someday for it.
This would be good planet for whales, I think.
I can't argue with it.
Yeah, it gives us a reason to come back one day and visit.
sure he'll find us too.
Meet me after this damn war is over.
Oh, that would be preferable. Well, I guess it's a happy ending for Mr. Wells then, huh? Alright.
So long, brother. And I'll hop back into the driver's seat.
Give
He
it a
did
little
save our
salute.
asses, that's for sure.
Yes,
Give him a little salute, buttoning up your shirt and stepping back into the grav car driver's seat, as you said, Dixon. The rest of you pile in, taking one last look at the little sparkle of sunlight that is being caught by the crystalline-like, brilliant kind of blue structure of this plant-like growth. And to your naked eye here, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's very, very slightly shimmering. Just very slowly. The doors, the like wing-like doors, close on the grav car, and you take off. There's no roll to make your way back to the starport or anything. It's not hard to navigate there. You have basically GPS. You can even put it on autopilot and make it take you back if you want. But you have a quiet ride on the way back. It's much shorter than your ride here, as this is direct as opposed to a kind of a search pattern and looking around at the cool sights. I would say I need to adjust the calendar because all of that took quite a while, I think. But yeah, I'm going to move it 6 hours. You flying, searching, landing, hanging out, flying back, all that. So that will mean that ship time would be 8-10 a.m. You're probably tired for a lot of you, right? Because it's kind of like you've stayed up all night, but it's sunny outside. It's, at this point you're looking at like a 1 p.m. sky basically, where the starport is. So just after noon, bright sun above you. The world itself, as I've described many times, this emerald jewel, beautiful, strange, and full of life. Wispy clouds that hang overhead, the air crisp against your skin but not cold, and a kind of a slight sparkle to the air as the wind kicks up some of the native pollen. You enter effortlessly into the starport. You don't have anything to declare. We already established that, so you don't need to go through customs or anything. I mean, you do go through customs, but we don't need to roleplay that. And you have now redocked the grav car back within the Vagabond. What do you do?
Well, I guess it's time to get back to work.
How much more work do you have left? Stereo?
Oh, a day or two.
Oh, that's not bad. Well, if I can help out in any way, I'm right. You know where I am. I'm in the ship.
Yeah, you know where I
Free
am
to
too.
help, Captain, if he wishes
I can
to.
help.
That
He
might
knows
be
his way
better than
around
me.
tools. I don't know about you.
I can be moral support.
You can help him.
You can help me if I hurt myself.
That's true, actually. You have a knack for that.
Yeah, it happened.
All right, so on that note, why don't we skip ahead to a scene with Steruya fixing the ship, I think. Unless, were you going to say something, Dixon?
No, I was just gonna say I could help out as well, so I can
Oh, okay. Right on.
flavor help out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
anybody
saying
with
we have to-
mechanics can help.
I don't.
Right, so-
I got a mouse one.
So let's.
engineering.
We've already done the rolling for this before, if I remember, and we know how long it takes to do the repairs and all this stuff. So this is just kind of the canonical sort of view. Let me change something. You would no longer be there. The canonical kind of view of what's happening aboard the ship during this period of time. Everybody kind of working together to kind of clean up, going back through the staterooms that the passengers had been in previously, sweeping the crew deck, going back through it all. Solomon contributing, walking through, helping clean, checking over, basically doing like the full checklist. I would assume like Stereo, you've probably passed out checklists on different things. Like here, like He goes over flight systems and stuff. You know, he's working closely with you as you make repairs to make sure that the flight systems are calibrated for the changes in mass and all the things that happen to the ship. So there's sort of this montage that we see in our camera over the next few days as the characters are working together, carrying things, and we see Solomon come in. Like holding brown bags at one point and surprising everybody with like takeout food. And you guys kind of sit around the table eating and discussing repairs, and we move through the montage over the next several days. Steruya, is there anything in particular you want to address with regards to the repairs of the ship?
Yes, there is one thing I forgot to request, so I would take that up with the captain.
All right, so we'll cut to a scene. Where do you guys want to have this? In engineering?
I'd probably call him up to the guest quarters.
Okay.
Like the galley area.
All right, so you guys make your way into the galley of the ship. You just do this on comms, so like open, or you're just calling the captain, or are you calling other people? Anybody else want to be there in the scene?
Well, it would be open, so I could just call him up.
All right.
But I guess anybody on the ship could show up, so.
All right, so we'll pick up as Ryder, you step into the galley. Anybody else come in? Is that no? All right.
Oh yeah, no.
What is that?
Not I, said the fly.
That's being weird for me. Hold on. There
Roman's
it goes.
cataloging all the suspicious looking people he's been clocking. And adding them to the public forum that he's created.
Okay, so nobody else is there. It's just Steruya and Ryder. Ryder, you just stepped into the galley. Yeah, you're in character. What do you do?
What's up, Steruya?
It's making a list of provisions we need to pick up, and I had the epiphany of procuring an auto laundromat or two.
That's a great piffery.
Bigger, one for passengers and one for us.
Love it. How much does something like that cost?
Not that expensive, I don't think.
Okay. Well, we
Just
only
leave it
have
in budget.
millions of credits. So.
Yes, exactly. But, running costs for just keeping these staterooms empty is, $1,000 a month per room. So, should we pick up extra passengers?
I mean, I really can't think of any reason why we shouldn't.
I could think of at least 3, but okay.
I mean,
Y'all not talking about more passengers, are ya? Yell from my stateroom.
Now Dixon wants in. Yeah, no. I got something to say about that, actually.
Why don't we just take a break from all that for a while?
We still have some passengers, technically.
Yeah. I mean,
That's where they're at, basis.
Especially with the war going on, we're gonna get some kind of spies or some bullshit up in here. It's gonna be nothing but trouble.
I mean, I
I
guess
feel
we
like
could
we
wait.
just kind of called the first trip a trial, and
It may be again, but coffers are full. Why not take it? Why not just enjoy a little quiet this go round?
Maybe take a week off.
Take
and
a week
pick
off.
up
Maybe
some
Tick
more
Tick will have
passengers
some
and Tick Tick.
some quiet types.
Well, I was thinking of picking up extra passengers at the next stop, number 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I don't think there's anything in Tick Tick.
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
It's only the researchers and the
Natives.
Tick Tick. Yeah, okay. I think that sounds like a good idea. I mean, we can't keep paying for the empty rooms.
we could spare 10,000 for well, 5,000 would be 1 month, so that's not that bad.
Yeah. We got the money. Okay, Dixon, you got your wish. We're gonna take a little break.
But even still, we should get the proper provisions and maybe 2 of those auto laundromats.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. I mean, really, just kind of anything auto that we can get. We should get the auto thing.
Within budget.
Get an auto cabin. All right.
Oh, they make those? That's cool. We should get an auto captain.
All right.
Okay,
So
well,
with that, then
let's
okay.
head out.
You if you want to buy some auto laundries and stuff while you're here, feel free to do so. Just subtract the credits for that cost.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And by the one at the appropriate tech level, because I know they actually scale it pretty high in tech level, which is funny.
Yeah,
How
that's
much
what
is
I
an
was trying
auto
to look up.
captain?
It's basically like the size that it is at the tech level and stuff, and what it can do, how it cleans stuff. Like the really high tech ones don't even use water or anything, right? It's just crazy sound waves and like acoustic
Right.
showers and Star Trek kind of thing. But yeah, the rest of the week goes by uneventfully as you buy whatever supplies you want to. Feel free to fill them up. Also, on that note, out of character, I mean, if you don't want to take passengers on anywhere, you can always like fill those staterooms with crew if you wanted to hire more crew to do things, or if you wanted to
I mean, we could
That's even more
convert
money.
technically
them eventually.
afford a domestic servant robot.
Oh,
They're
that's an auto
cheap.
I
And come
mean,
pre-programmed to clean, so.
It's a cleaning bot.
But they're
that's
like,
an auto everything basically. Like, I'm totally
Yeah.
down with that.
They do a lot of stuff. Yeah,
How much?
they're like a little robot, like a tiny little kind of like R2D2 looking weird robot kind of thing.
Okay.
the picture in the book is like more C3PO.
Oh, is it? On which one?
Oh shit. Okay.
Page
You're
71,
humanoid.
Central Supply Catalog.
Oh, you're in the Central Supply Catalog. Okay.
Well, that's the picture of it, and where it talks about programming.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sanitation droid. Security drone, ski job, spider bomb, urban pacification, utility droid, protocol, astromech, centurion, Oh, I see. It's on the other page. Yeah. Right. So it's not quite like a C3PO. a little bit less human than that, but yeah. Like really simple like pincher arms kind of loader type things and stuff. But yeah. Programming, let's see, tech level 8, yep. Yeah, they're pretty cheap. Programming, basic, cleaning. They have alarm and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is tech level 10 or
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, there are like 500 credits, so we could easily get a cleaning bot.
Shit.
Yeah, they're only 500 credits.
Hope they're like Star Wars, those little tiny little planes.
No, it's more humanoid size, kind of weird moving
Creepy.
thing.
I don't want that in my ship. It watches me when I'm in the bathroom.
Probably does.
Stop beckoning it with the door wide open.
Yeah.
Come into the bathroom then.
You know how I like to shower. I am not changing how I've done it my entire life for this robot.
They do have protocol droids, which are very advanced programming and can do diplomacy and stuff. But they're like 3 million credits.
Yeah. And the astromechs are like 6 million credits, and they can like, they're basically an amazing chief engineer.
Oh.
They're incredibly good. They have
auto engineer. Okay.
They have, I mean, they're crazy. They have engineer
Yeah.
power 3, electronics computers 3, mechanic 3.
Oh, Jesus, that's better than me.
Astrogation 3. They're really good.
What the fuck?
That's like way better
That
than
would
I
be our
am.
best crew member.
Could you imagine an entire ship piloted by
Very,
just these
very
things?
good. They can't pilot very well, but they can. They have pilot spacecraft 1, but they can astrogate like a motherfucker.
It's better than me, man.
Hey, it's R2D2 basically. It's supposed to be like R2D2.
It's like the story of the useless doctor, the most useless doctor.
It doesn't
on
have
the
any
boat.
3 or
medical
4 of
shit.
these things. You could run a
Yeah,
ship.
absolutely. If you buy enough robots and stuff, and like buy the expert systems for the actual ship itself, the programming stuff, you can make a pretty large ship operated with like a fairly small crew. You just have to maintain all the robots and stuff.
That'd be crazy, like one guy and then like a ship full of robot crew, and he's like
That's
painted
basically
on
what
smiley
happens
faces
on that.
all of them.
That's basically what that TV show
Names them.
Andromeda
Played by
with Kevin
that's
Sorbo
cool.
was, right?
That's sick.
Because it was like a ship that had like 1,000 people on it. A bunch of shit goes down. They get stuck at the edge of a black hole. I'm not gonna let it spoil too much. They lose that whole crew. Then it's basically just the captain on it, right? He's like, this ship gets pulled out of this black hole thing, so he's aged like 1,000 years or whatever in an instant for him, and everybody's gone on his ship, and like blah 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 stuff happens. He gets another small crew together in the future to try and like rebuild this republic kind of thing. And so they don't have a crew for the ship anymore, but it has all the emergency like robots that operate it when people die and stuff. And so the crew is constantly just that. And the one
That's
guy
Traveler as
from it's super traveler-y. It was written by Gene Roddenberry originally, the idea anyway. It's like from his notes. But then the one of the bots or whatever, or not one of the bots, but one of the crew guys from that time period is like a pretty genius engineer. He's from like the future time period, but it's all like almost post-apocalyptic at that point. And he's just like, it's his dream to work on like one of these amazing ships that are like a legend. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
And so yeah, he does that and he maintains all the robots and shit. He like literally builds like a skin job, like perfect android version of the avatar of the ship at one point and stuff. He's pretty crazy. Super traveler-y though. Anyway, back to this space setting. Yeah, if you guys want to buy any robots or whatever, feel free. This is the time to spend the money so we know what you spend it on. And like I said earlier in the session, when and if we pick up with another Chronicle game, we'll each be picking these files up. So we'll be like, what did the ship have? And if you wrote it down from the notes, we'll
2
remember it.
auto laundries at TL10 and a cleaning droid.
Nice.
I mean, we could get a few of them and make sure we got backups or how will it clean the whole thing, or like do we need multiple?
I mean,
like the
I
whole
would
ship.
I would
it's
say
a
that
robot. It'll clean everything you tell it to.
I would say one could probably clean it. It just will be, cleaner if you have more, because they don't have, it's one thing doing it versus two things doing it. So the throughput is higher if you have two things doing it.
Sure. I mean,
terms
because
of
they're
labor.
500 credits, might as well get a couple. Let's get
I will
two.
say this: if you don't have like the robotic specialty of engineering or whatever it's called, or mechanic, to like repair them and fix them, it's probably a good idea to have an extra if you can. So
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll store it
Get
in the
it- just get a
closet.
6-pack.
six
Yeah.
pack of
Buy
sanitation.
6
toys,
get
or
1
not
free,
sanitation.
right?
Because I'm probably
But
gonna get. I'm
they don't
gonna
just
come across
clean. I
one
mean,
and it's
they
gonna trip me
basically
up and
just
I'm gonna
clean.
smash it. So
Yeah.
You need some
In the middle of
extras.
the night.
yeah, I'm gonna come up to the bathroom. God damn, it's too dry.
Let's see. So you can do. Skill was performed are listed here together with their dice modifier, so you can do some pretty basic stuff. Traits. Handing, yep. Okay. So it has all that stuff, which is interesting. The robot is equally at home on land or in the water if you get amphibious trait. That's cool. Most robots are created for a specific task or a range of tasks while they blah blah blah. So basic X. The robot has extremely limited intelligence and focuses purely on its main function. As stated in parentheses, it can avoid obstacles and obvious hazards, but has little ability to interact with travelers beyond alerting them to any issues that arise during its basic duties. So what that would mean is, like, if you wanted to have one of them that cleans, you would have to have one of them that cleans. If you wanted to have one of them that would, like, go get the food from the auto chef and bring it to the person that said, bring me the food from the auto chef, you would have to have one that did that. And it was like, that's his job. It's like, I'm the butler guy or whatever. I walk back and forth. If you wanted to have one whose job was to, like, carry luggage in, basically, for passengers or whatever, that would be like your porter robot, right? So it's that kind of a thing.
But we do need like a 6-pack.
If you want them to do more than just clean, yes. Because they have basic programming only for these cheap robots.
All right.
Or you get a
Let's
more
get a
expensive
bunch of
robot
them.
that can do a bunch of stuff. To be fair, though, 500 credits is so cheap. You could get a bunch.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the
like, not
next
that bad.
expensive one's like 3
It's not like they
million
sleep
credits for it to
somewhere. You
get
can just
one.
have them staying in the cargo bay. So. All right,
Well,
so how many are you buying?
there's one that's 100,000 and it's basic servant,
Oh,
but it's
Oh, okay.
pretty much the same thing.
But you can do like everything.
okay.
Yeah, it's more your butler, where it
Yeah.
like carries
Okay.
bags and does all that stuff.
As opposed to like one
500
singular
credits.
job.
Right, but 100,000. I mean, do we have 200 jobs that we need these robots to do? I think.
Nah, I think sticking with the cheaper ones and just getting a few.
No, I don't think that's really how you should think about it, but no, because the other one is like one you can literally talk to and be like, "Hey, would you go get me this kind of a burger from the auto chef?" And it will like go punch in the order and bring you the burger from the auto chef. Whereas this one is like, he's too dumb to do that kind of shit.
We need a
So
6-pack.
you just need 6 people,
Yeah.
like 600,000.
We got millions of
credits.
credits. We're gonna be the ship that everybody wants to fly on.
Give
Hey.
Astro Burgers, but
I mean,
keep
you've
it on
earned
the
it.
down low.
Astro Burgers and robots that'll go get them for you. Like,
We
come
really
on.
can't advertise that we have Astro Burgers on board our ship. We're not sponsored.
Oh wait,
Yeah, you can just call it
I
something
gotta
else.
take down this ad. Hold on.
Oh God! Please tell me you didn't put out an ad.
So I guess
No, not
I
yet.
guess I'll just get 3
We're
like
taking a break.
3 of the domestic servant ones.
Okay, so 1,500 credits.
Man, that's cheap as fuck. And they don't have to eat?
No, it's a robot. You can all buy one if you want. You could have your own domestic servant robot that, takes out your trash.
They don't have to eat?
Or whatever.
That's crazy. They
Whoa.
don't take fuel.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, they do,
might
but
get
it's
the-
powered by the ship, basically.
You might get the dark campaign
Plugs
you were
in the
after
ship.
all along. If we keep going down this rabbit hole.
I don't really
I'll buy
need
one
I don't
just for
think.
my room.
All right, remember, they do a singular task, like clean. So that one's just going to, like, clean your room or, whatever you want it to do. Something like that. Like, clean your room.
I'm dirty.
Maybe it takes out your trash, or like maybe you have one that literally just like carry stuff in or something like that, but it's a singular task kind of thing.
You know what? Yeah, get me a medical one. Medical assistant. I'll need some other skilled hands to hold open flesh folds. As I'm reaching in.
That's
If
your
I get
robot's
shot-
one.
I think this
thing
one
that
would
it
be
can
more
do
like
is
the guy
hold
that would
flesh fold.
hand you a tool, right? Like
That
it's
works
kinda-
too.
like that kind of a thing. Yeah.
I'll need
I
that
think
as
it's
well.
a flesh folder.
Flesh fold holder.
I get shot, and you're right in the middle of watching your videos, and you're like, oh no, the assistant.
The
the assistant
robot's
patched
got
you
it.
The robot got it.
You glance out your door, like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. No.
It's covered
man.
in blood stains and it's bumping into a
Ralph,
corner.
Ralphie can handle it.
I think we
Yeah,
found
named him.
J5's guest character.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. No way. That'd be so funny.
Input.
Ralphie with R period, A period. What does it stand for? It's a name.
Nice J5.
That's so good.
Okay, so you guys buy some robots.
What else? What else we get for the ship? We're shopping for the ship? Okay. What else? We're going to need some mood lighting for the crew or common area.
I just noticed that the domestic servant, the cleaner ones, are 3 feet tall. They're small.
Tiny people.
Oh,
So they're like tiny little...
Little hobbit
Cleaning
robots.
They're the
Hobbits,
the
yeah.
that Honda robot.
Wow.
Oh yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like
kinda.
Yeah. Little dancing guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dancing guys. Yep. That's what mine's gonna do.
You were talking about
Mine just dances.
doctor
Dance,
stuff,
yeah.
medical stuff, and automated stuff and things. So I wanted to mention there is an auto dock. There is an auto dock, like
What? I said
Expanse
all the
style
auto
dock.
things.
If you want, okay, well, if you want to get an auto dock, you can, but the lowest TL auto dock is a 13 one, so they're probably not going to be readily available on Asus unless you do some finagling and some rolling, right?
Let's get one
And
better later.
So they're TL 13 and 14 are the only two
Oh,
auto
we can
docks. that
finagle
exist.
it. If you want to try and finagle it, you can always use it.
I
else?
don't see why. We never get hurt.
Roman just looks over at you.
Well,
Let's
is there
usually
anything
get
else you
them.
want to? Is there anything else you want to get for your ship?
Oh, shit. You said TL13 is gonna be hard.
Yeah, I mean you're on basically a TL 10 world, so anything above 10 is going to require a lot of rolling.
I've been carrying the same TL10 med kit since day one.
Yeah, I mean the area of space, the boonies of space is basically all TL 10, 11, right? Until you get really central Imperium
The first
stuff.
place we get to shop, and it's like a discount outlet store.
Yeah, but they have a ton of stuff. It's a huge economy. It's just TL 10.
Are there
I already
any
have
eyes?
TL10 then.
For that
Any
one
what?
item.
Eyes.
Oh yeah. You want to roll for some eyes?
Yeah, I mean if you want to try and do that, I think it's in the core book or whatever. If you want to find the cybernetics or whatever it's called. If you were buying other things for your ship, keep in mind you can browse through the High Guard book if there's stuff you wanted to get in there as well. As for your eyeball, let's see, where is that section? I think it's in the core book. It's pretty personal augmentation. Here we go. There's a thing in the central supply catalog. Commando arm, crew prosthetic, weapon implant, functional prosthetic, enhanced mobility. Let's see the torso, head. Here we go. Cockpit sensory suite, ballistic tracking lenses, assisted ambulation, cognitive augmentation. What are the TLs on these? Okay, so you could get a cockpit sensory suite if you wanted. That would be available. A neural comm would be available. I'm just looking at head stuff. I know that's not eye specific to the neural comm. The cockpit sensory suite is, but enhanced vision. Nope, that's not available. That's TL13. Shrieker box. Peripheral vision enhancement. That would work. The depth and acuity of standard far and mid peripheral vision is enhanced. This confers a DM+1 bonus to initiative rolls and recon checks made to spot unusual or hidden objects. Sounds like what you're looking for. TL10.
Anything with lasers?
No, there's no laser eye. What game do you think you're playing?
Or X-rays? You got X-ray eyes over there?
I mean, I think the peripheral vision enhancement is probably the best, like pure vision enhancement. I mean,
Can you see through my clothes?
Keep in mind, no, that's like what tech level would that be? That would be like crazy high tech level.
We can do that now. We have like there's night vision cameras that do that now.
Yeah,
What
but
about
not
ballistic
a
tracking
eyeball
lenses?
that you can perfectly control.
This is
What about ballistic
TL8 we're talking
tracking
about.
lenses?
If they're TL10, seems kind of reasonable.
I mean, I'm literally reading from the book. Which one are you looking for?
The Lear
Ballistic
camera.
tracking lenses.
Ballistic
They're
tracking lenses.
TL12.
That sounds pretty gnarly.
Right. I mean, I saw that, but it's TL12. You're on a TL10 world. You might be able to find it, but it would just be a hard thing to roll for. I was just going through the stuff that was TL10 and looking at it. But yeah, you might be able to get that. It's just it's gonna be a roll. Just retinas are laced with tiny receptors. You see an outline over an object. The traveler aims the weapon at VTLs, as they are called. Ballistic tracking lenses. Grant the traveler dice modifier +1 on all ranged attacks where he can physically see the target, but cannot be combined with scopes or other sighting aids. The traveler's eyes will shine strangely in direct lighting, revealing the BTLs to observers. Yeah, I mean, if you want to roll to see if you can find a TL12 BTL on ASUS, you can roll to try and see if you can find that.
Yeah, what do I roll?
I mean, you'll have to be just like what you did before. You'll have to either do like a broker or like a streetwise to do it, and it'll take a week.
Oh, yeah, a week. Alright, we'll look for that somewhere else. I don't want to stay here.
I mean, it's
that
not like it's a
week.
big deal. Right. Well, it doesn't necessarily take a week. I think it takes 1d6 days, right? Plus a modifier or something like that. Let's see. Oh, okay. plus the difference in TL. Yeah, so it's gonna take a week no matter what. At least a week. It could take more. Up to you, whatever you want to do.
Can you are you limited to one of these things? Or could I get peripheral vision enhancement and then get the ballistic tracking lenses later?
Oh,
Also.
There's importance of being well equipped, some, however, take this much further, augmenting their own bodies to enhance personal capabilities in the realm of both mental and physical, a swelling market. Okay, so. Here we go. You also might want to check the home comforts section of the Essential Supply Catalog if you were looking for cool shit to buy your ship. That is like basically full of it. There's tons of cool shit in there.
All
like
TL12.
And it's some of it is, but a lot of it is, and a lot of it's like TL9 and it's awesome and 800
He's trying to
credits.
trick us.
Like the clothing consultant is like an 800 credit thing. Like there's all kinds of cool shit in there.
Roman has style. He doesn't need it.
I don't know. Roman's from a pretty backwater place. I mean, he has a
He's
very
pretty much
interesting style.
been wearing the same smock this entire time.
With stains on it.
Now, yeah, it's pretty fucking.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like Bruce Willis's tank top at the end of Die Hard.
Right. It's changed color.
Started white, now it's black.
Okay, here we go. Detachable. Only available to external augmentations such as limbs and eyes. This option allows the traveler to disconnect the augment. Use a specialized socket. This can be done for storage, disguises, or to allow multiple augments to fit into the same socket. Yeah. So you have to have, it's one augment per socket.
Okay.
As far as I understand, those sockets are torso, head, limbs. I think that's it. There is a what? Okay. You can do like a thing to each arm or a thing to each eye, but you can't do two things to one eye, as far as I can tell.
Okay, interesting.
Not that you couldn't theoretically combine two augments into one augment, it would just be a considerably higher tech level augment if you did that. So if you go to like a really high tech level world or something like that, you might be able to like be like, can I get these two augments combined into one augment? But you know, it's a higher tech level and has a higher cost than both of them just combined kind of thing.
I'm also gonna get pick up a holographic play table for the
that sounds like
common area.
An awesome idea. Yeah. That's kind of like the thing you see them playing chess on in the Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon, like with the ripping the arms off scene. Yeah. Not that he ripped anybody's arms off in that scene, but you know what I mean.
That was an extended version.
Deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Remastered.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff in there. Hair styler, high fidelity music system, holographic play table, float table, environment replicator, designed to be installed within a standard stateroom or similar area. The environment replicator automatically adjusts lighting, temperature, and humidity to create that found on specific worlds.
That's actually kind of sick.
It is. This is usually used to make a traveler feel more comfortable when he is light years away from their home world.
Wonder what would it have done to Wells?
Interesting. The environment. Well, you'd have to tune it to
it wouldn't even know.
It's not like it automatically does it.
Yeah.
It's not
I wouldn't
magical.
know.
Yeah.
It's not magical.
The environment, the environment replicator can be set to make minor changes to reflect changing times of day or seasons, but does not affect the atmosphere of the room in terms of composition. So it's not like it replaces an oxygen nitrogen atmosphere with a methane atmosphere or something like that. That would that's an actual ship thing you have to do.
Kind of cool if we get exotic passengers.
It is cool, or it's just a really nice thing to have in every room to just keep you as comfortable as you want.
Yeah, we're not renting out high end.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
We're staying in the middle class.
If you do stuff like that, you can actually get the high end passengers, which pay a fuckload more.
Sure.
Miniatures war game. You can fucking right? You can literally play miniatures war game on here. 25 credits for the cheap one. Lords of Space figures. You want to buy some Lords of Space figures? Anyway,
Do they have any Gaius action figures?
Gaius, Lord of Space.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see him being one. I can see him being one. For sure. I mean, if you want to roll to see if you find something that looks like Gaius.
Sure. What do I roll?
I mean, it's just gonna be a luck roll. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
Pure luck.
Yeah.
And they're 250 credits each.
Oh, it was a 5, and then rolled to a 1.
It's funny. Difficulty. It shouldn't have been 12. It should have been 8, but it still failed. I would say you find quite a bit of these Lords of Space figures kind of browsing throughout the week, looking at stuff. You're not looking for anything in particular because that would be like a weird meta thing to do. But like, none stand out to you in particular, like as being like a Gaius like type thing. I will say though, you see some that you recognize from like the shelving behind what's his name, Ernie or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Back when you the first, basically the only ever collection you've ever seen of them before. So, but you
Wow,
recognize
that
a few of them.
feels like forever ago now.
Mm-hmm. That was like session 2.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Might have been session 1 actually. So you see a few of those.
Wow, the miniatures war game. That's
Yeah.
At TL10, models can be fully animated, allowing players to watch their model walk across the table and
So
fight
tight.
under their direction.
That's sick.
Super cool. Yeah, it's a physical model. That's not a hologram either. That's like
Yeah, they're like
it's like
made out of plastics and
it's
stuff.
little mini
Oh, that's
robots
so
and stuff
cool.
that are fighting and stuff. Yeah.
It's like a little D&D mini that just walks across the table and punches the other guy in the
Clobbering time.
face.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
dope.
super cool. Anyway, so yeah, you guys buy your toys and stuff. Feel free to buy all the stuff that you want to at normal cost. There, Aces is a very active and filled economy. One of the most, if not the most, on the Florian trade route this side of the actual Florian League. So feel free to do whatever kind of basic shopping you want in that respect.
Ryder is
And-
going to get a sleep inducer
Okay.
so that he can go to sleep exactly and wake
Sounds
up
good.
exactly.
Very punctual.
It's actually
wanna
pretty
keep it
good
that
for
way.
being on board a ship, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're
that's
trying to
true.
maintain watches and stuff. Makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense to do something like that.
Kinda
Yeah.
cool.
Pretty
So yeah,
good.
you have no problem buying that. Just normal cost if it's at the tech level available to you.
It's 10.
10 or lower is fine. Yeah. And then if you're above that, we'll just have to make a roll. So yeah, go ahead and buy all your stuff. And before too long, the rest of the week has passed, and you have completed repairs on the ship, and you are prepared for takeoff whenever you want. You can stay here as long as you want, do whatever you want to, buy more parts for your ship, buy attachments for things, you know, upgrade stuff if you want. Stay in system as long as you want. But you're done refueling, you're done repairing. What do you do?
What did we get for the ship? Did we get an auto dock?
But it's not available here to buy.
Okay,
It's
cool.
TL13, so it would take some
Yeah, I
rolling
was
for you
just
to
looking
do.
at that. Looks a little...
They're good.
I
They're
mean-
really good. But
By the time we get back to Imperial Space, we could probably get one. Tobias is like TL 14, 15, something like that.
yeah, there's some big ones in there.
Yeah, they'd have all the fun stuff.
Yes, sir.
By a sphere of solace, also.
It's like the cone of secrecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as ineffective.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit.
All right. So if you made all your purchases, just record them. Subtract the appropriate amount of credits from your total.
Hey there, Doc. You got a minute?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. I just picked you up a little something here and produce a sort of a big bag. You know, I know you stopped with the hooch or whatever, and I thought you might like a little something else to drink. So I went into, I don't know, I went into a tea shop. I got you some tea.
Some tea. You really didn't have to do this.
Yeah, I asked the guy. It was one of those neat little shop, and I asked him. I told him kind of your situation.
Yeah.
This is what he recommended. He thought it might help, ease things off a little bit.
Really thoughtful of you, Dixon. I really appreciate this.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. But just trying to support you, if in your journey and all.
Thank you, Dixon. I'll bring him in for a big ol' hug.
Oh my god! Oh, well, all right, there, partner.
I'll slap him on the back and I'll push him out and be like, well, I guess this is normally when I'd say let's have a drink, but how about some tea?
Well, yeah, sure.
All right, and I'll go
I
make
like
some
that.
tea.
All right. I think on that we'll go ahead and go to whatever the next scene is. So finish up your shopping. You're done. The red text threw me for a loop there in Fantasy Grounds when you installed the sleep inducer. I was like, whoa, what happened? Did we get an error? Oh no. Okay. We'll just go ahead and skip to the end of the week. The ship being fully repaired. Solomon basically is just going to come to you physically in person somewhere on board vessel Ryder, and wherever that might be, probably in crew commons or something at this point, sipping on a cup of the weird tobacco coffee stuff that you have left. And he'll kind of just like lean there in the door frame, sipping on this mug of steaming coffee, and sort of look over to you, Ryder, and say, all right, Captain, well, ship's bearing to go. If you're looking to go anywhere, I'm game as soon as you are, but if we're staying on work a bit, that's fine too. Just let me know. I'd like to, if we are, I'll take a bit of time and do some walking out there. Otherwise, I'm ready to get on stick. You got any plans? And he sips his coffee.
I think we've taken care of everything. We're ready to head on to Tick Tick.
That's just fine with me. Rui has done a hell of a job fixing her up. Been calibrating it for last few days here and taking her time. I don't think she's ever looked better. At least not while I've had control of her. Being
Did we
fully
ever-
repaired now.
Did we ever move that orb up to the commons?
Yeah, you said you were doing that before, so it would technically just be like floating in the
Okay.
like the dining room table.
It's
in the
got like
middle.
trash on it now, and
Yeah, like a
Oh,
beer
that
can
old
sitting on
thing.
top of it.
half like a t-shirt just hanging on.
Well, not anymore, because now you have cleaning bots.
Oh my god, that's fucking. They try to clean the orb,
Yeah.
like they take
They
it.
can't get to it. It's too high up.
They
for
just
'em.
vanished.
We've created a singularity.
Yeah, it starts speaking to you now. Oh shit!
Not another problem.
It's the overseer's voice. What's happening? But yeah. So you can do whatever the hell you want. If you want to stick here around here and do anything, feel free. Otherwise, Solomon's ready to take off. What do you do?
Ready to go?
Punch it.
I believe Sterulia would like to get out of here as quickly as possible. I am on her side.
All right. I'll have her up in the air here within probably about half an hour, and we can be on our way. So Solomon begins final preparations and flight checks for departure. Radios for departure permission from the starport. Gets it, and you feel the ship lurch as it takes off and lifts off through the opening doorway above you. The hangar now fully parted. You slip through it effortlessly and into the sky. It takes about 30 or 40 minutes to get up there, and the M drive kicks in full. What I'm trying to do. And Solomon comes over the comms.
All right, well, looks like we'll be out near the York Cloud in about 72 hours, and should be able to enter and jump in. She's pretty free and clear, it looks like, from here. That mess of Glorious Empire ships out there seems to keep the peace, I guess, if you want to call it that. Though I'm a little concerned about how many of them have grouped up over here on the other side of the top horde here on Aces. We are heading away from that now, so I suppose that's less our problem than these folks. But we'll be getting to the York Cloud in about, as I said, 72 hours.
He cuts out, and if there's no scenes people want to have during this 72-hour period of time with each other, then we can skip ahead to that. Otherwise, what do you want to do while you're traveling out of system?
Definitely going to be enjoying my tea and cataloging the last of the footage I'm able to capture before we leave the network.
Okay. Make me a computers roll.
Okay, I have that.
Int computers. Int
That's
electronics
new.
computers.
Gross, dude. What? Did it go through?
I haven't seen a roll, man.
Nope.
Probably for the best. It was a really bad one. Okay, take two.
Now it seems like it's working. There you go.
That was much better.
Right, plus 3
First one was
effect.
just a practice roll.
So yeah, you're able to get a bunch of data and correlate it, and what you've done now is essentially, now that you've managed to actually kind of wrap your head around basically programming to a degree, you've sort of set up and installed programs that are just constantly running and watching the footage, basically a machine learning algorithm, and then you just keep feeding it information, and it looks for clips and the same actors, the same facial recognition stuff that we can do today, right? Like and of course your computer systems are much more advanced than ours, so it would be like millions of frames per second that it's processing. We can do like thousands and stuff for this kind of thing today with the proper hardware, but of all this stuff that you're feeding it, and you don't really, you do get tons of hits, like 95% certainty this is the same guy, and you look at it, it's like, that's definitely a woman. That's not, nope, kind of stuff like that. But there are a couple of good hits that you get that you look at them from old media, and you're not 100% sure of, like, it's like about like a 96% certainty, but you think that you may have actually found what would amount to a one-man play that was recorded from 3 different angles. So it's kind of like a 3D sort of look, and this one-man play the actor in it, it looks to be the same guy who's the lead that you see die in the show that you've been trying to research. It would be dated about 250 years ago. A little bit more
50
than that.
years after the show where I watched it.
About 30 years after it.
30 years after.
Yeah. He does look older in it, but not super old. Maybe not quite 30 years old, but Anagathics existed then too, so it's not like that would be too weird. But that's all you would get.
I'll take note, and I'll add that to the compiled database I'm building.
Okay. Your
with
weird
all the
conspiracy
webs
murder
leading
board.
to all the right. Yeah, it's basically a giant conspiracy wiki.
All right.
Something big is happening in this universe, and I'm exposing it.
That's the Roman in 2
can't
years is going to
explain
be a
that.
very different character. All right. So yeah, that's the last thing that you.
I'm
kinda-
picking a new
you kind of
playbook.
do over this period of time. Anybody else want to do anything? All right. Anything else? Anybody else want to do anything in that 72-hour period of time?
I just want to mention when we did the whole Wells thing, we would have obviously gathered coordinates for where that was.
Sure. I would assume that you would remember where you did it. You would have some kind of GPS for it. Yeah. Especially since you flew there and your thing has a autopilot on it and all that stuff, so you should be able to. Yeah. And they have an actual coordinates like satellite network and stuff and orbit and all that. So yeah, no problem. But yeah, so with that, then Solomon comes over the horn a few days later.
Well, we're in position to enter or jump whenever you're ready, Captain. Just give me a word.
Punch it.
All right, here we go.
The reds of jump space begin to cascade over the surface of your vessel. It takes about 25-30 minutes before the little pinpoints of light truly disappear, and this sensation of movement picks up in front of you and out the portholes that you can see into the multicolored and strange rippling tides of jump space beyond. And you are in jump space and traveling on your way to Tick Tick. So you have a week of travel in jump space. So if there's any scenes that you guys want to have in this period right now, let me know. Otherwise, record 1 week of downtime stuff you're doing for your thing, which I don't think is going to make anybody have to make any rolls or anything, but it's something we should know for where you're at when we pick it up. So just go ahead and record whatever you were working on for that week. If there are no important in-character scenes that we have, the week is going to be a pretty uneventful one. You're going to mostly just be walking around calibrating your robots and getting used to the new living conditions on the ship. Solomon's going to be more than pleased, gonna be tickled pink by the fact that he probably doesn't need to clean his stateroom anymore, right? Stuff like that. And everybody was probably doing some cleaning for a while on the ship just to keep it up, right? But now that's kind of stopped, so everybody has a little bit more free time in their day. And I would say, and this is actually mechanically represented, by the way, because each of those items you give gives a +1 morale. I would say that the fact that you don't have passengers on your ship, so just kind of this oh hey, it's a little bit easier. We can go wherever we want on our ship now without having to worry about it. The low berths are still there, but we've mostly tried to forget about them anyway. But the robots and all this have literally given you bonuses to morale, and so there is a sense of comfort, tranquility, and of being home aboard the ship that you have touched on a few times in the past, but maybe has now truly come to fruition as you actually have a positive morale rating for the ship for the first time in the entirety of the campaign. And that's where we will pick up next week.
That is fucking amazing. That is
hilarious.
amazing.
It's hilarious. You've been a negative one for a real long time.
What an arc to finally be positive in morale. Yeah. That's such a cool campaign.
It's hilarious to think about that. It's Basically, I've been
find our
staring
happiness.
at that -1 as a GM for a long time, and I've just been like, well, I'll throw away some subtle reminders that you're a shithole for right now. And now I don't have to. You're actually quite positive.
Wow, what a cool thing, man.
So I want
Hell
to
yeah.
note
That's cool.
that Ryder installs his silence thing in the center of his room.
Okay.
So, and what's really interesting about that,
So you can have like a private
is-
meeting place for people to come in and stuff as captain.
well, it makes it silent. So it's like noise canceling.
Yeah.
So like I won't hear the ship sounds. Like
Gotcha.
it's really interesting how that works.
Yeah, it's like a black sound
like-
thing, right?
Right. So like I'll be so like Ryder has always been around like a lot of noise like his whole life. There's just noise all the
Baby
time.
and all that, yeah.
And he's like it was like a gunner and like
Right.
yeah, it's just so anyway, so it's just really interesting to kind of be in silence while on a ship, you know, flying through space. So that's kind of
Yeah,
his,
I mean, you can set up like a light for an alert or
his little
whatever if something's
solace.
happening, so it's not like you.
I was thinking,
have to
like,
worry
you're
about
the
it.
captain, and like, the alarms are going off. We're screaming, Captain, get in here! We're dying! We're
Nope.
dying
He's like,
out here!
you can't get me, you can't get my attention. I was actually gonna say I would be like walking around the ship with it in my hand for a little
Oh,
while,
that's funny.
and it's like nobody could say anything to me as I was walking around.
That's cool.
Somebody's listening to music and you walk by and they're just like,
So it's interesting because it actually notes that if somebody has like a theater system, an advanced music system or whatever they call it, and it's a higher TL,
oh yeah, it can cancel it.
I'll be able to
Oh,
hear
that's
it because
funny.
it'll
Yeah.
it wins.
Right.
So
It's pretty great.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, the TL system
But-
in Traveller is awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
cool.
pretty interesting for Ryder.
Yeah, note that down so you
some
remember that
silence.
for later and everything too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody else wants any details about how the shit they bought and how they interact with stuff, feel free to talk about that. But other than that, I just wanted to move into favorite moments.
Well, before that, during our week of travel, I'm going to be moving and rearranging all the cargo on the ship into the lowest deck,
Okay.
just so that we can have the deck B cargo area just cleared, and
Okay.
we can do whatever we want in that space.
All right. Sounds good. Where are you storing the robots when they're not actively walking around cleaning and stuff? Where are they
Deck
sitting
C.
when they're charging and stuff? Okay.
Deck C in the office area of the
Oh, right.
cargo.
Yeah. Yeah, gotcha. So they'll just stand there and kind of plug into something and charge. Sweet. Very cool. Just note that down. Write that down. So, because, again, if we pick up and play Chronicle and we skip ahead like a year in world or whatever, and by the time we play that campaign, it's like a year from now in real life, we'll never remember the fact that there are
Where do we store them?
3 robots standing in the office. Deck C office.
Deck C cargo office.
Cargo office, yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Hell yeah. All
This is
right,
our ship now.
so
It really feels like our ship.
yeah, that was kind of what this campaign was about. Was like applying a history to something and starting our history in this universe and all of that. And I think that's going to be a fun thing to play through too. And I think that like when we come back to this universe in the future, whether it's with these characters or not, I'm still going to probably have things where we like end up on this ship in the future. Right?
I was gonna
Like,
say there's so many seeds planted literally for
Yeah.
Stop
anything
it, you
that
son.
I didn't even think about it until I said it. Sorry.
I don't get it.
There's-
What do you mean?
We planted so many things for potential like world shaping events that will change the universe that we experience later down the road.
that was the whole plan with this campaign, is that we can keep coming back to this world, and it isn't going to just be like a one-off. This world is about
Keeps
these
evolving
characters campaign
with
and
our
stuff.
actions.
Yeah, it's like playing
Super
into a
fucking
big like
cool, man.
Forgotten Realms setting or something. Yeah, it's a fun. It's a fun.
I
campaign
enjoyed
so far.
the overall tone of this session, I think it had some like finality to it in a lot of ways, and like we were closing a lot of loose ends, and like I think
like that too. I thought that was really cool.
For some reason, the real closeness of us really shined in this session. I felt like the closeness that how we've come together now as a crew, and it's like we all are so vastly different, and we've realized how useful those differences are together.
Yeah.
And I think that we've fully embraced that as a crew.
Yeah,
Super
it was
fucking
actually
cool, man.
Yeah, especially
Felt
with
neat.
the personal additions and the extra things for the ship.
Definitely added that.
Definitely adds to that, yeah.
I like that.
I was
definitely
actually
makes-
reminded of like One Piece, kind of, when you see those moments where they like kind of look back at the crew as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And we see this scene of them interacting and doing stuff, and like maybe Sanji's chasing, you know, or Zora's chasing Sanji around or something stupid in that scene or whatever. But like, it's those character interactions that we've come to know and accept as an ensemble, all happening at once, and we can zoom out and look at it. And by this point, when you do that, you see that they are a cohesive whole. They've gone from being individuals to being a family and a crew, and are comfortable in their environment. And I think that's cool. We've seen this journey take place. It feels like almost every character except Ryder has had a lot of like moments where they were like, am I doing the right thing by doing this life? You know, this kind of thing. There's been a few questioning moments here and there, but they've fallen into the comfort. And I've liked how in this, and I say because, except for Ryder, because Ryder's because of Ryder's personality, it doesn't really work that way. But
Ooh, we survived that, didn't we?
But the my favorite moment, so I'll just start with that. My favorite moment here was when Sterulia and Dixon and stuff were like taking off their shirt and stuff and like laying out in that field and trying to get comfortable. That was
That's that One Piece scene that you're describing,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like Roman in the car, hiding from the sun. Like each character is doing their like archetype, but in an image. It was really cool that we needed that downtime scene.
Ryder
really cool
was wading through the river, looking at stuff, trying to catch a fish, and getting soaked in the process. You know,
fucking perfect. It was really cool.
That was a good scene. That
On
was
some
definitely my
alien
favorite.
forested planet.
Right,
Yeah, it was
super
really neat.
dense, like definitely predators right out there.
Yeah,
but you know,
we're having a picnic.
Yeah, you're basically having a picnic, planting even more alien tree guy.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know if this is going to kill this planet, but meh.
Yeah,
Not our problem.
We'll see. You won't find out in this campaign.
Yeah,
but
I figured as much.
yeah, here we are, and that was definitely my favorite moment. Who would like to go next to a favorite moment? I feel like you pretty much did a good one in society already, but yeah,
mine's just making the ship our home.
Yeah,
sure.
That's just really great.
That was so worth it. I think for sure.
Yeah, I really liked when you guys were doing all that shopping and stuff. Like, Ryder's like, oh, automated everything and all the autos.
Yeah, auto all of it. Why the hell not?
What else autos?
Yeah.
I like when
That was pretty good.
Roman and Ryder were taking videos of paying off their dets. And then we both started
That was a great
filming
moment. I had
Dixon.
forgotten about that. That is a great moment.
And he was just like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Just
Paying him with his two
What is
robot
this?
hands. Just like grumbling about him. Oh, that's great.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I'm
good.
glad we got to
That's
hear
so
that
good.
too. That whole, like,
Yeah, I
him
kept
getting
meaning
shafted,
to, like,
basically.
Good
bring
job
that
with
up.
that, Venom, by the way.
I even had the idea of like always telling the story like multiple times, right? Like,
Oh, that
you
would've
know,
been
that old
funny,
thing.
yeah.
And I just never remembered.
That sucks. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
There's
glad.
always
I was
something,
like,
man.
I was just a player. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know that we ever actually got to that.
That's
And maybe
fine.
we
I
did.
think I
That's
saw
very
that
good.
in the face too.
Yeah.
It was
All
good
right.
though.
That was
I'm glad
great.
we learned it.
I loved it. Yeah, I love that we
y'all's
saw those character
reaction
moments and stuff come
when-
out.
When Ryder
When
said that he's
Ryder
never
said
flown
he
before,
never
that was
flown.
good too.
That was good.
That was great.
Wait, what? Everybody turns to him. Just
We've been following him.
record
like, he's been
scratch.
flying.
Like,
Which is a cool moment because yeah, it's like
Yep.
we've all had our problems, but it's worked. You know,
Yeah.
it's working.
That's true though.
stumbled your
right?
way through. Yeah, yeah.
Why
Pretty
change now?
awesome.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, we had bought some stuff. We had bought some stuff last time, but I thought when Psycho was like bringing that up, and we kind of pulled up the list because there's so many cool items and stuff in Traveler. And we didn't really get it in this.
It's a gear
really
porn game, right? Like
yeah, we haven't had a lot of
big
that.
Part
time,
of that system is
so,
diving into that stuff and playing around with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool, and we got a little taste of that. I think everybody had a fun little moment, just scrolling through the shopping list and being like, yeah, I'll take that or whatever.
It's cool that you have some money now too, and you've gone that full
right.
journey of being like really poor, literally in the negatives, to being like, we're actually kind of positive. Yeah, we have debt on the ship, but like it's like making a house payment, right? It's not like you're actually super in debt or anything, and you're ahead on your payments, right? You're like, you're doing great. It's the first time. The morale score is positive on the ship, and but it's cool that you have a campaign to kind of set that up.
Felt good to make those payments, like because it was a big focus right when we did it, obviously, because that's a lot of what Traveler's about, and then we had the whole miss jump, and then like we made a bunch of money somehow, and then lost, and then spent it on repairs or something. So it was like
we got fucked up.
Sometime around that big old
we changed ships,
the Rex or whatever.
Well, yeah, but
we sold something and made some money, and then just had to spend it all. So yeah, it was like kind of a roller coaster. So it was nice to actually mail off our first payments.
And that was super cool to see. I liked that. That was really neat. Well, if you can't tell out there, this is likely the penultimate episode of Chronicle. Meaning that next week, when we get together on the 16th, will probably be the finale, unless we end up going super long and stretch into 2 sessions for it. But at best, there's 2 left. So we will have next session, and if necessary, next session might be a little bit longer than our normal sessions or whatever, if we have to cap it out. But if we do finish it off properly next week, then we'll have a break for the week after that, and then we'll be coming back the week after that
special
with we've already teased it, but with the hunt campaign that's upcoming. So I ask all of you out there that are watching right now to please tune in for that. We're going to try and aim for around the 30th for that, and we're going to try and maybe start streaming just like an hour or so earlier than we usually do, so maybe around 3:30 or so Pacific. But my schedule will be updated, so you'll see all of that ahead as the time comes. But I want to thank everybody that's come along on the journey. Thank you, J5, Gerbil, everybody out there, Space Cat, Witster, everybody that showed up. Really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, I mean, I'm a little sad to see Chronicle go to J5, but at the same time, like I said, we'll probably be coming back not only to this unit, we'll definitely be coming back to this universe, this exact universe, not a version of it, this one that we have already touched, and slightly forward in time, right? Like no earlier than where we currently are. So at the very least, we're always stepping forward when we touch this world. We might literally be back on this ship again with these characters again someday, but it's going to be a while, and we're going to visit several other universes before then. I want to thank everybody one last time for coming along. The journey has been great. Thank you for watching the penultimate episode of Chronicle, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.